noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Actually, he flips the conversation. He goes, I've noticed a little thing between you and Brett.
What?
Nothing.
No matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
matter what happens, I want you all to stay together, and I want you to do what you need to do to get out of here. Don't worry about me. Help as you can if you can. But mostly worry about yourselves, okay?
I'm not leaving you alone. You can do this.
If anything happens, I want to know that you will be okay.
I'll be safe.
Alrighty then. Hope everyone's weekend was glorious. It is Monday, right? That's how my weekend was. Anyway. So we'll go ahead and recap a little bit of last session. After the group had an interesting time with Yelena, Valek, and Arix through their semi-interrogative situation about what had happened on Death Island and that special plane of existence, and Richard's interpretive dancing. They seemed decently comfortable with the story and how it lined up with everything else that they had garnered. Arix... Well, first, Polly had taken Yelena off to the side, asked about a certain book from a past adventure. She gave some tips on it, and though Polly tried, Arix swindled the swindler and was able to get the government to pay for the book. But nevertheless, Polly got some coin out of it. Arix then proceeded with Kaporin's help to go outside and recreate Space Seattle in as open and wide of an expanse as possible, really letting this city know that magic is here, and it's shoving it in people's faces. But you know what? Arix doesn't do it any other way. So, the group was basically let free upon the town, without any strong engagements needing in any direction, which it's been a while since they've had the looming sort of back plot line of shit, we need to eventually get this done. But don't worry, didn't last long. As you do later on that night, after a discussion in a private room of the hotel. This was after, Richard's technically demon daddy splitting a cleric in half and blowing his heart out, and the trauma that's going to come ahead and come with that. But just like all good trauma, we tamp that down and we don't talk about it.
Richard's very good at that. He's had a lifetime of it.
Yep. Just puts it away, file that under do not disturb, and we're good to go. But during this time, as good children with decent parents do, people started to reach out to their parents, mainly Kaporin and Polly. And sure as shit, as Kaporin and Polly both reached out to their mothers, they both got told to come home. That's not new, but one was a little bit more unexpected than the other, seeing as how there's now a baby to deal with. Anyway, so the next day came about, and you guys secured your rooms and private quarters for discussions and started to move about the town, restocking up on things using your newly gifted plethora of money from General Rasmussen, who you guys went to go visit, and for his gratitude ended up quadrupling your bounty for completing that mission. Restocking, buying a whole host of diamonds, looking like you guys bought out Tiffany's, and everyone decided to get new clothes. I mean, let's be real, the shopping has just begun. But my notes end probably way before we actually ended our actual session. So, you have to fill me in on where we end. I believe we ended at the end of the night.
I think we just finished with the spa. Basically, it was the last thing.
It's only lunchtime.
Oh, the
Ganthrock
we-
burst a hole through the whole place, and
well,
we just left after that.
Being part of a certain league that Ganthrock is, those details do not get discussed, and without proper evidence, it could have been anybody. Just like your guys' names get expunged from that whole situation as well. The damage was paid for by the government, and none the wiser. A black van pulled up, and about 20 minutes later, everything was fixed. It's an interesting...
Was there a lot of neuralizing going on?
Just bright flashes of light here and there. Modified memories all over the place. Except for the one guy with soup. He just had to get taken out and replaced. But after the short...
Soup guy!
After the short escapades in which you all were able to fully understand everything that is Ganthrock in the spa, he left in as big of a flurry as Ganthrock does. If you thought certain bodily functions were violent to begin with, I'll put it in an orc's hand who's holding a warhammer, and everything gets that much more violent. But after Kaporin had spent his time mending the few tiles that had gotten broken from them walking through, and you guys then pass through the locker area where there is a gigantic hole in the wall, you guys are let out into the street. That's why I didn't write any notes, because I was pretty much laughing the entire time through the whole Ganthrock thing. You guys were let out into... not staying too long in the tavern, specifically because of everything going on. Moved out, and you're now in the streets. And yes, like Richaw said, right around lunchtime. I believe it was an hour before lunch, as he was just prepping the clam chowder. So, that's where we resume. Inside town, Ziltiana Krasa of District 7, around 11 o'clock in the morning. Begin.
You guys are carrying a whole bunch of money, right? Should we maybe go somewhere private and take care of that?
I think that would be wise.
Well, it all got dumped into Nori's bag.
Is there like a bank or Bryn?
It's called your keep.
Like a bank
It's called our keep.
So we're
to exchange coin.
yeah. Our current plan is none of our characters are smart enough to count that high, so we're just gonna get it all exchanged for gold.
I
mean,
count that
we're
high.
trying
It
to
would
do
just
it.
take me a really long time.
Just like count by tens, it'll go faster.
It's funny with the
They
noodle.
shorted us 3,000 gold. What the hell? No.
As far as exchanging a mass amounts of gold, or mass amounts of coin into gold, easiest place would be in different locations of the academy. Seeing as how this isn't a capital city, that's your best bet. But you could pilfer and slowly exchange stuff at different stores. Most stores,
Just walk.
most stores would be able to handle like a few hundred gold at a time without causing a problem.
Walk in, drops chest on the floor, opens it up. It's like, can you help me exchange some of this?
I mean, Rachan, I have
pick
a
it
free
up.
pass to the academy all day. Oh, shit, Racha. We need to message someone about that question.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan.
Do you have the question? I could message Elena right now if you want me to.
Might also
This should
want to
be
ask
fun.
her if we could exchange with them as well.
I mean, that's easy enough to do to find out where to do that at the gate. I don't need to bug her about it.
Fireball. What are you doing in this neck of the woods?
So you want me to ask her why he was with the pirates?
Far from home.
Why he left home and why he ended up with the pirates?
Yeah.
Okay. I will immediately send to Yelena.
Both of you make an
Thanks.
intelligence check.
Okay.
Ollie's become surprisingly good at this, and he's only been with us at like a week.
Polly, thinking about it and probably what questions they're already going to ask Fireball, probably guessing this is going to be along with their questioning. If Fireball's decently young, especially for Kenku standards, and if they're constantly recruiting, how they pulled. That's probably along their lines. If they can nail down a recruiting fashion, they might be able to sneak someone in. I mean, it's not the regular military that's going to be questioning Fireball. It's going to be the assassin. So you're guessing they're probably doing it for clandestine purposes. They're probably going to try and use that type of information. It's probably better to ask a question that might be out of left field.
So I'm thinking that they're probably going to ask that kind of question already. Is there anything, I don't like, maybe personal or something that you might want to ask him, or just that? Like, you just want to know that stuff.
There are dead bodies up there.
Are you asking about where he was or where he came from?
I lose one of my crew. It's like losing one of my family.
So, do you want me to ask them if they like did something to the village that he was in, or? Well, that's all I can think of actually.
What do you need? Dead bodies.
Anyone want to help me out?
Did he kill people?
I lose one of my crew. It's like losing one of my family.
If anybody from the flock is gone,
Shakes his head no. Fireball. Dead body. Staring. Dead body.
What does he want us to do with his body?
Bingo.
Or just like, yes.
So, sadly, I think they've already taken care of the body. I don't think that they would leave it around. They probably burned it. Do you want the ashes,
He sort of giggles in a little child's voice.
Recording in progress.
Why is this meeting being recorded all of a sudden?
Didn't mean to do that. Click the wrong thing.
Recording stopped.
I just hit leave meeting.
But he giggles like a little child and goes, "Fireball, ashes." And then he sort of thinks for a moment and is like, "The flock." Anybody else? And kind of points towards what Bryn, like indicating like what Bryn was saying in terms of questions.
I don't remember what Bryn was asking.
If anyone else is gone.
Are any of the other flock members pirates as well?
I can definitely ask that. And I will ask them about the ashes as well, just in case you want to keep them or take them home.
Just so you know,
Back to
the clerics were taking care of it. They were done in radiant, so there are no ashes.
Okay. Well, I wasn't there, so I'm gonna ask anyway. Because I've never had to deal with this before. So I will cast sending and hope it works. Yelena, Racha wants to know if there are any other Kenku with the pirates, if any more are dead, and we want the ashes.
Okay. Pretty quickly, a response. Oh, well, thank you for getting back to me quickly with the question. Body ashes, unrecoverable. Head ashes can be given. And I'll get you an answer when we get one.
Okay, so she's gonna get a hold of us when they have any of the answers. Unfortunately, there are no body ashes, but we can get the ashes from the head, and we can do what we need to do with that. So, we're just gonna, I guess, wait for a reply from her.
Yeah, that works.
Sorry, I couldn't do more.
He gives Polly a big hug.
Face full of newly molted feathers.
It's like having a big beard. Oh, wait, I have a big beard on my face. Never mind.
I get a little tangled. Have to
Double
like
beard.
weave my way out.
You just make a bird nest in Polly's beard now. Just like a. If not, we have to pick up a little bird that will just nest in there.
Would that work? Could I nest in Polly's beard?
Not quite.
Like in Peter Griffin's beard.
It's one of those things where it's like, this is where reduce of the enlarge and reduce spell are most important, and I could surprise people from his beard.
Or
Oh,
we
it's
just
Polly
make,
just needs to get in melee.
or we just make Polly's beard an entire pocket dimension. Polly's beard of holding.
If you guys would have found some O2 tanks in Seattle.
That would be so useful.
I mean, technically, we do have a way. Well, not quite. Never mind. Later.
Polly would open up the beard and Rachel starts to climb in. Watch the booze!
In a corner of the beard, there's just like a shelf full of booze.
Corner.
I can only
We're talking about
imagine
only a
a-
corner's gonna be open.
I can only imagine a conversation where Polly pulls like snacks from his beard of holding, and people constantly think he's eating crumbs out of his beard.
Pulls out a turkey leg.
But he's still eating. What the hell? Speaking of eating, let's go get lunch. I'm starving. That was a lot of work, sitting in that bath watching you guys fight.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I almost drowned.
So I can definitely say I've never seen anything like it.
It's been a while since I've used wild shape like that.
Imagine fighting alongside that.
Wow.
Rather fight alongside it though.
Many naked birds.
I don't know what you mean by that, and I don't know if I want to.
He's not wrong.
Everyone together.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of, hey Nori, what was that thing on your chest?
Uh,
I think he means ribcage.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say boobs.
the chest thing is inside. If you can see that, there's going to be a problem there. That is a problem we need to address ASAP. Nor
Ollie
just
doesn't know
because.
the difference right now. He doesn't care. I mean, they're so small, it looks like you're whatever. I mean,
Nori, I don't think she realizes what you mean, so she just kind of looks at you.
Ben's gonna poke it.
Oh, it's a tattoo.
thank you, genius. What does it mean?
It doesn't mean anything.
Would
Well-
Kaporn have known of this tattoo?
Absolutely not.
You need to get your money back if it doesn't mean anything. Ask Amric. The only reason to get a tattoo is because it means something.
Yep, that's what it's supposed to do.
Or somebody marked you.
Well, that's also a thing, but you can't see that one.
Always ask for consent.
Yes.
I don't want to see it.
No, you don't. That would involve me probably. That would involve a very violent surgery. So no, you won't be seeing it.
I've already seen one of those in the last day. I don't need to see another one.
Yeah, no.
You do have the
But
lantern.
What did you say?
That was for Polly.
I didn't hear it either.
Oh, I said you do have the lantern.
Yeah, but I'm not going to use it after what I saw yesterday.
I'll go sneak away.
Are we
Kaporn's
out
like,
in the
"You
middle of
wanna
the street? We don't need to do this here. Weren't we going to switch money? Is that a thing we were going to do?
I mean, we were going to lunch too, right?
All the
let's go
best
get lunch.
conversations happen in the middle of the street. You should know this by now, Nori.
Yes.
Kaporn's like, would you like to see it again, Polly? I can just throw it up here with major image.
No.
No. That's good. Thanks.
Yeah, let me show you naked Nori in the middle of the street.
Kaparin, I will end you if you do that.
What?
Are there street vendors anywhere with food?
There's a few, yeah.
Can I just grab a bunch of food from someone?
It's a
While
port
we
town,
walk
so there's a
and
lot of
talk.
fish vendors.
Fish tacos.
Fish and chips, baby.
Rich,
More
would you like some fish
tacos.
tacos?
The first quote from Nori, coming back around. More tacos.
We'll always love our fish tacos.
Is the fish still alive in these?
No. Doesn't cross groups.
Have you encountered fish being alive in the
No,
food?
I'm just really wary about fish. Sometimes, you know, it's weird.
It is.
That's a little bit of group 2 bleeding into group 1.
I mean, we
watch
haven't
out
had
when you
any
eat
weird
catfish.
fish.
Might still be alive.
Richard just sort of nods and goes, Fredrickson.
Too bad I can't see Richaw since he hid.
Oh no, I would have actually hid unless you wanted to use the lantern.
But yeah, you guys are walking and talking. Heading towards the academy for some money exchange.
Do we see any fish tacos in that direction?
You've already got the tacos.
Oh, we already got the tacos.
Okay. It's already in hand and in belly.
Warren's holding like four in one hand, like in his fingers, and just taking bites.
3 copper per person.
The academy. What's going on around here?
What do you mean?
The academy.
Well, I mean, it's where the Ixian military trains all of their warriors and clerics and people in high standing, and it's where we get educated and stuff like that. And they've got a pretty extensive library. I don't know about this one, but if you want to do research on stuff, come here too.
So it's this thing. I've heard of this thing before. It's like it starts with an S.
Shitter.
A schoola? What, a schoola? Is that what it's called?
School. Parrot, I've
Ish?
talked about this before.
Well, I learned from. I didn't go to this school thing, but I know a lot.
Well, not everyone does.
It's not necessary. It's just available if you enroll in it.
I mean, I was only in school for a couple years. Other than that, I was taught by my mentor. That's about it.
I spent my days in the forest.
Mine in the mountain.
Run for your lives.
Wasn't that bad for Chaw?
He's talking about his own.
I spent my days. Run for your lives.
Or just like gently pats Racha's shoulder.
To be fair, it probably would have been like the majority of my life, huh?
A good portion, I would think.
I mean, but you're safe with us mostly now. As long as we're in a city or town that doesn't want to kick Nori out, we're pretty good.
That is a fair statement.
So this is the first one.
Porn pulled out. I don't think if any other towns didn't want her in there either.
Technically, it's
Skipper
second. Canberra we're
Jonathan,
looking at.
Skipper Jonathan Ladash.
We kind of killed their pet snake there, so
Yeah, I think she helped them, but I think they also weren't our biggest fans.
we know we should just cause like the worst plague ever in the crops fields.
Roughly about
Cast
this.
dispel magic at the origin of the thing, and then it goes away. I really hope they know that.
Eventually, you guys do make it to the academy gates. It's not that far of a walk from where you guys are currently at. Inquiring about transferring a large amount of coin into gold, they would ask a couple of you to separate whatever coin you do need to be transferred, and then follow them over to one of the buildings that is closest to the gate on the inside, off to the left, most likely it being probably either Bryn and Amric, or Polly and Bryn, because most likely Nori's not going to give up her bag of holding to anyone but Bryn at this point. Not so much because
Give him like 5 different portable dimensions
Racha's so many
strapped to his body.
who just sneezes and falls incorrectly, makes one bad acrobatics check, and one bag goes in the other bag, and all hell breaks loose.
We lose all our stuff, everything explodes, and we're banned from another town.
I wouldn't
Like,
be.
hold him.
He's just gone.
Deuces. So yeah, you guys end up going in there, transferring the rest of the silver and copper that you were given from the Horde, and moving it into gold. So you guys, the entire amount of coin that you had gotten from the Rasmussen retrieval is now all gold.
Money, money, money.
Overall, you ended up transferring like 6,000 into gold.
This is truly so much money.
But with that, they escort you back to the gates and back to the group.
Where to next?
Val, just for scale, how much gold does Amric have right now compared to like the amount his tribe has ever had? With whatever little dealings they would have done with Ixia.
Yeah, to be fair, I mean, most of your life, the tribe didn't really need for gold. The few times you do is when you guys went and like paid either the gnomes or the dwarves for metal to refashion like new spears and shit like that. So it's not like you guys ever actually had a large amount of need for gold. But if you had to like put wealth to a number, your tribe probably at one time had about 1,500, 2,000 gold. Max.
Amric's like a billionaire in his tribe.
To be fair, he hasn't
for
gone
you,
back to
Emric.
his family since they've integrated into Ixian society, so
Yeah, who knows how they're doing now?
yeah.
Did you want to go see them?
My family.
Just nods.
Yes, but I'd still like to finish that project I told all you about, and I think we decided on seeing Polly's and Caporans first.
Oh yes.
Holly's near Emmerich.
Yeah, near enough. On the way.
Were you able to get any of the supplies, Amric, for us to work on it?
Yeah, I got plenty of lumber to work on. So I mean, for however long we stay in town, if Richon, Kaporan, and the rest of you would like to help out with some of the figurines, I would really appreciate it.
Warren is completely down for an arts and crafts session. Just at some point, I did want to exchange my bow for maybe a crossbow or something. I definitely need something a little bit stronger when I run out of spells.
I mean, that shouldn't be too hard to do. There's plenty of places around here that you can do that. Or
Perhaps it's time for another shopping trip.
This time on, the price is right.
Castletown?
I wish it'd be a lot easier to get stuff there.
Why not?
I mean, it's not near here.
Brain perception check.
It's kind of pretty far away, actually.
Nori, perception check. Continue.
Well, maybe we should get moving. Amek, where do you have all the lumber stored?
Would you like to put it in the bag?
I think I already did put it in the bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought we had it sent back to the hotel because we weren't with Nori.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right.
Take your word on it. I know you just didn't have it on you.
Yeah, we went shopping and had a bunch of stuff sent back to the hotel, the inn.
Shaw did the same, but he had it. He set up a workshop to go do
Yeah.
his stuff in.
Yeah, you tried telling them that, but they didn't understand quite.
Well, if you'd like, on the way back to the hotel, we can stop by a general store. I'd like to stop by a post office if that's all right.
Sounds good. I need a little material for my next project as well.
Okay. As far as a general store goes, though some of you haven't really dealt with any Ixian cities and towns too much, so not a whole lot as far as information to go off of wise. But this town, not being as cookie cutter as the other ones, doesn't have the hardcore straight up general store. It's got a couple other stores that make up different facets of business that the others don't. The one that you're probably going to want is called the Bigger Seal. This one deals with more adventuring stuff.
Is this for Amric stuff or?
Yeah.
Didn't Kaborin just say he wanted to?
He wanted some
to get some-
supplies, but he didn't say what.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess while we're here, Emmerich will pick up a few javelins.
Yep, javelins are easy to come by here. This place has very basic weaponry as far as what's available. They only got 3 javelins to work off here.
I'll go ahead and buy all 3.
Okay, so for all 3, it's going to be 2 gold.
I will hand it over, and that's all I need.
Kapoor, what supplies are you looking for?
Well, Kaporin just needed some stuff to make like an animal plushie.
So no crossbow?
Well, yeah, crossbow if they have it here.
Yep.
Trade with the trading in my bow and arrows if I can.
It's just regular bow? Long bow, short bow?
I believe it's a short bow with a quiver of arrows.
Okay, what kind of crossbow are you looking for?
Just I can use regular crossbows.
Is it crossbow or light crossbow? Because there's a difference there.
Yeah,
just
check
a
your
normal
proficiencies.
crossbow. With a bard, I can use crossbow. Yeah, it just says crossbow attached to it.
Should say hand, heavy, or light.
It doesn't specify.
Usually be like crossbow, comma, hand.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, then it's crossbow hand.
Okay.
I thought it was like hand-to-hand combat kind of thing.
No, it's just telling you what type of crossbow. Okay, so turning in your bow and arrows for a hand crossbow and a case of bolts. The bolts and the arrows will transfer over evenly. And it'll be another 55 gold to change the bow to the crossbow.
55 gold? Okay.
Kaporn, if you don't have one, I have a spare quiver, if you'd like to have it.
Oh, thank you, Amek. I do have a quiver from my arrows, but I just have to switch them out.
Yeah, this is swapping your arrows, your quiver, and your bow for a crossbow, bolts, and a case for your bolts.
Okay.
Yeah, so the quiver and the arrows swap evenly, and then it's 55 plus your bow to get the hand crossbow.
Okay. Bryn, I know we haven't distributed the money, but is it possible to use the 55?
I mean, it's your money, definitely.
Just haven't split it yet.
I know.
So Brenda turn around and go, "No!"
Yeah, right. I guess I'll get that out from wherever it is.
I mean, to be fair, you could have, when you separated the 6 grand over at the academy, you could have given everyone 1,000 of it, or however you wanted to split it out.
That's fair. Yeah, that would have worked then. So we each have 1,000 gold currently.
The child would have refused his because he technically already has like the vast majority of his portion. The child was the one that took the smaller 3,000 gold bag of the 18,000 we received.
All right, and then in that case, then Kaporn will hand over the 55 gold to swap over.
For ease of everything, you guys can split the gold up between everybody, ignoring coin weights. So that way you don't have to do this whole, oh shit, how much did I take out? And the whole thing. So you guys can decide how you want to split it now, and then basically just have the bag of holding be the never-ending piggy bank. And hell, even if you want to, as you split the gold in, you could say this is Kaporin's gold. So then Kaporin has to say Kaporin gold when he wants to pull out his gold. And for everyone else too, but mainly it's Kaporin that needs to separate it.
Kaporn's not good with money math.
So it's just normal gold, and then there's just one small thing that's labeled Kaporin's gold. So that's the whole arrangement.
The other one just says not Kaporin's gold.
Yeah.
And that we have to say it that way too.
And you have to whisper it really quietly.
Now I'm just imagining the bag of holding being just like this neat file cabinet sort of thing, and I love it.
Basically, think of it as like a rotating ball, like a spherical shape that has a bunch of cubby holes on the ball. And as you reach your hand down and say what you want, the ball rotates to put the correct cubby underneath your hand. And then you grab whatever is in that cubby. And then if Kaporin ever tries to touch not Kaporin's gold, it's just another hand that slaps his hand.
It's almost like Kaporn's not completely trusted with his money. He will buy random shit that he shouldn't have, so he has an allowance.
Really happy you guys didn't buy that loot.
I'm still upset about that little douche that ran.
Dude that accidentally became invisible and levitated away.
I've not been able to find the time to say it's kind of stuck on my britches yet.
You just have a whole column of words that you're just waiting to say.
Well, that one was from that dude. He was like trying to get out the door and got stuck
I see
apparently.
his paper. The answer is yes.
I mean, he's got the entire lyrics to Wrecking Ball. So, money is split up, so Kaporin, you end up getting your hand crossbow. So go ahead and take out your bow, quiver, and arrows, swap them to hand crossbow, bolts, and a case. It'll come with a full 20 bolts. Anybody else want to do some shopping?
If no shopping, then just the post office, I guess.
I'm gonna need to get my cask filled up again.
Cask would be on the way towards the academy because there's no post office. But you got your choice between is it Virginia?
We have to go back to the academy.
Yeah, the academy would have the front military outpost to do mail. What was I saying? Oh, as far as liquor goes, you've got whiskey, Chardonnay, and tequila.
Whiskey?
All right. Whiskey it is. Whiskey filling up your cask or your flask? Your cask is still on bill, isn't it?
No, I brought it with me. I always bring it with me.
Okay.
And we put it in the bag because we didn't want Bill to have to carry it while he was stuck in the
I didn't want Bill to
water
drink it.
It's a fair thing. So you filling up the cask or your flasks?
All of the above.
Okay. 3 flasks, right? All right. So for cask and for flasks, you're looking at 12 gold.
Sounds good.
I want to go do the fun thing of buying diamonds for greater restoration because Polly got stuff for revivify. I'd like to get some stuff for greater restoration.
Easy enough to do. One of the port buildings has plenty of jewels and pearls and all those type of things that you may need. How many stuff do you need?
Should I get 3 or 4?
You mean for like, you need one each?
Just for greater restoration. Should I get 1 each?
No, I mean like, do you need one? What do you like?
For greater restoration, it's 100 GP diamond. Because we have stuff for revivify, and we've come across stuff that we needed greater restoration for and didn't have.
Right. I mean, there are 6 of us.
All right, I'll get 5 because I already have 1.
All right, and easy enough on the dot for 500 gold.
All right, I guess that's what I do.
As far as mail goes, Emmerich, are you trying to send it to your tribe?
Yeah, I'm sure I would have gotten a more specific address after I did it last time, but I just a short note, and I'd like to send like 600 gold.
Okay. They send it with
to-
the guards and everything, so it's going to be protected. All right.
Hey, Emmerich, I've got an idea. Why don't you send it to a specific spot that you know of in District 3, and then I can send a message to them and tell them that it's going to be there, and just to check for it in like a couple weeks or so.
You can also send a message and get their actual address.
I didn't get their address last time I sent it to them. But I sent
You
the
sent
one
it
letter.
to them, and they kind of figured out where to get it to once it got to that district. Not too many Goliath tribes up there. Whether or not it got directly to your family is another question, but it definitely got to someone in your tribe. But after having, because I believe you got like all the information from Amric, so you could contact his people. So with that,
His dad.
another sending at a random time could have gotten you an address.
I'll just mark it off my spell list then.
There's that, I guess. But yeah, if I'll just I guess with the new address from Polly, I just send just with a small note letting my father know that it's from me, and then the 600 gold.
Remember what district it said it was in? I'm trying to find it. I think It
3.
was 3? Okay. I didn't say a town, right?
No, you just only told me 3 so far.
Alright, let me search the towns real quick.
Come on, Val, what town? What town? Have I been there? What town?
Nachavoy.
I haven't been there.
Nachovy.
I thought you said not your boy for a second. I'm like, that's an interesting.
Oh,
town.
it's not your boy.
Amric left before they kind of came into Ixia, but did he ever go through that town when he was traveling?
No.
No?
No, it's further in.
They specialize in nachos.
In voice.
Someone say boys.
After slapping the horny out of Kaporin.
Is
All
that
right.
possible?
At
I
least
don't
numbing
think
it.
so.
This Capone just got a straight backhand from.
Yeah, I think the only time he managed to slap the horny out of Kaporin was with the meteor.
That one worked. I had to slap the life out of him, but it still worked.
Tomato, tomato.
Yeah, so he's in the town of Nachavoy. So you
Well,
have a better shot now of getting it to him.
well, gold is marked off my list, and that is all for Amric's errands.
It'd also be another 20 gold to get it to him.
I will mark that off as well.
Yeah, sending that much money to make sure that it all gets there costs a bit. All right.
Capone wants to go.
Where do you want to go, Kaporin?
I just need to buy felt in 3 different colors.
3 different color felt. Okay. Let me get us back to...
Or like, yeah, just
Like
for
really
my project.
soft stuff.
I need to buy a paint kit too.
I saw the painter had a bunch of paint.
Going to the Siren Song. It's a materials store. So, fabrics. Think of it like a hobby shop.
Mm-hmm.
How much felt do you want? I mean, I know how
Enough.
much you want to get felt, but how much felt do you want?
Capone's like, that's not wrong, but okay. Enough for three $3. He's planning on making like similar size to Belladonna.
Okay, so a couple yards? Like a
Yeah.
yard per color?
That would work.
Okay. So 3 yards of felts, you're looking at 3 silver.
Okay. I will transfer over 3 silver. And Capone has nothing else he wants to work on unless Amric asks him to come with him. So he's gonna ask if he can go back to the hotel or the inn.
Okay.
I have a strange. Is there a plant shop?
There's an apothecary.
Can I see if I can get some mistletoe?
The fantastic hag. Yeah, they'd have mistletoe.
Yeah, I just want to pick up one thing of mistletoe.
She's gonna try and sell you on more shit.
Can't you druid craft that?
You can't druid
This
craft
is
a spell
specifically
component.
spell components / focus, just in case I lose mine.
But yeah, so a sprig of mistletoe is only gonna cost you a copper.
What else is she trying to sell me?
She's trying to sell you a fucking ficus. She's trying to sell you some parsley. She's trying to sell you time. She's like, you're a druid, right? Time travel. Come on.
Nori just goes, I've had enough time travel for right now. Thank you, though.
And she's like, no. Time travel. Smoke of the herb.
No, thank you. I have stuff I have to be on. But Nori just says thank you and leaves. Just like, social.
Was Racha there?
Didn't Nori bring up doing mushrooms like 3 sessions ago?
2.
Yes, she did.
Makes sense.
She brings up doing mushrooms like every so many sessions.
Luckily, Racha, usually
while.
you tend to... Though that contract has long since been dead and gone between you and Trentonmere and Nori, it still kind of is in the back of your head. Because you almost feel... We've talked about it before. You almost feel like you reneged on your end. So you have that kind of like guilty conscience. So usually you're probably hanging around Nori unless you're off doing your own thing already.
Yeah, for the most part, I feel, and especially if they were going to apothecary, I would be looking at like the, ooh, that's a poisonous thing, kind of thing.
And so yes, now you have smoke of the herb.
Why don't you go see if they sell tea there? If Nori ever brings up that.
Do they have a cactus?
Yes, they do.
I will purchase whatever cactus she offers to me.
Okay, it's only like little small, like personal planter ones. But yeah, small cactus, about 4 inches tall.
Wonderful.
The stupid part of me is so tempted to go spend that 1,000 gold to buy those little whatever jade thing you need to do for awaken the cactus.
If Nori questions him, he'll go, Charlie.
Is it consumed, or is it just a one-time, or like a constant focus? The jade thing.
I think it's consumed.
It gets consumed. Yeah, and my concern with that is that I've dealt with leak in other campaigns. I don't have the heart to kill an animal. I wouldn't put it past Val. So I don't want to spend that much money and then have it die.
Kaporin can totally get that spell next level up and would be totally down with just bring up random shit to life. He'll bring Belladonna to life. Oh wait, no, I can't.
Let's do you plan an animal. What are you planning on doing with that cactus, bud?
Hey,
Seems
Kapoor,
like
speaking of
cactus
plants,
secrets aren't necessarily the best secrets.
Tell me about that tea you keep talking about.
Oh, it was from what I know about it, it was a wonderful tea. That's you don't have to necessarily drink to enjoy. The girls know a lot more about it than I do. But
I don't know. You came in on a point where you pretty much know about it.
Yeah, you sound more than I think what Nori and I would have preferred you say.
Warren has seen a lot of things that you guys would prefer me to see less of.
We've also seen a lot of you that we prefer to see less.
So we're kind of in that reciprocal relationship right there. But I don't remember the town's name. Goddamn.
That's a
That it
shame.
grew in. Rachaw, friend, would use it and serve it to guests, and I guess it's a very popular item amongst the villagers.
Do you know how to make it?
Amric does. Because he went to
What?
a wood elf wedding party. Amric, all this is starting to make sense to you now. You're like, wait, I know what tea you're talking about.
Does Amric chime in?
I can make it.
It all comes full circles, motherfuckers.
Wait, you can make it, Amric? You know what it's called?
Probably.
Morning lily tea.
Morning Lily. Writing that down.
And does this
Interesting.
apothecary have everything to make it?
Unfortunately, no. That secret is usually kept to high elves and wood elves. But Amric, spending time with wood elves, would know it if he saw it.
I feel like Rachaw would too, just with how much he dealt with him.
Richard would know what it looked like when people had it. Amric would know what it looked like being grown.
Would I know enough about it to know where it would grow?
Snake Forest.
Yeah,
You're
I
right,
could
next.
I could make some, but we'd have to visit the Snake Forest.
Oh, look, what's there? Nigh but half-hour
right
journey
outside.
southward. It is the Snake Forest.
Yeah. Does any of us know that,
And-
Val?
Wow, does anyone see these railroad tracks?
Kaporin knows that the Snake Forest is below here because
Well, you all
he's
do.
inquired about Snake Forest.
To be fair, Amric, I mean, with you not knowing too much about Ixian and its travels through Cydia and everything, when you guys were traveling back from Death Island, the main thing that you knew you passed from Cydian waters to Ixian waters was the fact that you passed the Snake Forest. And the forest goes all the way to the beachhead. And where you guys currently are...
Well, Amric, it's not too far away. Maybe we can go look for some.
Sure. Let's
That's
get
where you guys
everything
currently
settled. Let's get everything settled at the inn, and then we can go look for some.
The other X is where the Wood Elf clan was.
Kaporin did hear about. I've also wanted to visit the Snake Forest before because I'm not sure if I could find any, but definitely if I run into any fairies or fae, I would hopefully be able to talk to them.
Day trip.
It sounds like a horrible plan.
But what doesn't usually around us?
The ladies have just become sullen and pissed off.
Does anyone else want to go pick up tea ingredients with us?
I want to do whatever the opposite of that is.
Agreed.
To be fair, the forest actually is closer to like 3 to 4 hours away, so it's not like it's rather.
Kaporin's happy to go buy some horses just to go over there.
Hey, you could rent a
This
horse
is why
for a
you have an
gold a day.
allowance?
Kaporin will rent a horse. He'll rent a wagon if he has to. He's gonna go buy another bag of holding just to store all this stuff in.
He's gonna pay 100
Party bus.
Cydian refugees a gold apiece to go help him forage. All right, everybody,
All right.
we're looking for this. Holds up a picture of a tiny flower. Like,
Not even a picture. He just made your images like a large version of this thing.
Perhaps we should wait till we're ready to leave town then.
When we do leave town, where are we going?
Follies?
Ma.
I think Kaporan's house is a little more urgent right now.
Well, do we have any ideas on how to get there? Because I don't think we've ever talked about it, Kaporan, but aren't you from Cydia?
Oh yes. You know, I don't have the name of the town. I know where it is. It's south of. Was it the Cowan land? Cowan Clan land?
Cowan Clan lands is where it is. That's like the region.
Purple
It's
X.
so south.
It was like, I know it was it was like on the same level of where we were.
It's the Purple
where
X.
Yay! Yes, I'm far south. Here we go again, crossing through Cydia.
I think if we do that and want to try to get you back home as well, we're gonna need magical means to do that.
Yeah. Hey, Nori, can your brother just pop us there? If we buy the components to do it and then come pick us up and bring us back?
I mean, we can definitely ask him.
Because I know the other two can, but they're kind of busy, with stuff and secrets and things.
She did say if Nori needed anything to let them know.
Yeah, but a trip back home is a little different than, hey, can you come help us with, saving the world of something?
Are we saving the world right now, or are we just hanging out?
I mean, we would just be going down to Lauren's home. I hope that doesn't involve saving the world.
Corin went down to Cydia to see his family's tree. But it seems like the best answer is to ask Nori's family.
Never had that sentence before.
I literally can clump all three of them into Nori's family.
Pretty much. Yeah, Nori goes, I never thought anyone would say that.
Well, not Dad, but yeah.
He does not deserve to be called Dad.
That's why I said not dead.
There we go.
Nori, you kind
Being
of
a donkey.
sorry, Nori, as Bryn says that, you kind of like look up and see Bryn, like a couple people. You guys are walking and talking for a degree, but you guys stop every now and again to have a more full conversation, so no one's doing the whole like peeking their head out and trying to talk across 5 people situation. So there's constant little like stops in here, and usually you're right next to Bryn, but Bryn says that as you guys are stopping and like sort of creating a half circle, and she's a couple people away, and you're kind of like, wait, who am I standing next to then? As you see the same sort of white pale skin and long blonde hair next to you, and then you look up and it's like looking at a different version of Bryn. It's very weird. Bryn, as you stop and say that and look over towards Nori, you see your mom standing next to Nori.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello there.
Well, hello everyone. Sorry, I didn't want to just kind of barge into the conversation.
I see you found us.
I'm resourceful.
I can see that. It's nice to see you again. This is Jeanette, my mom. And
Don't.
she'll
It feels weird. I know.
yeah,
I know.
but it's the truth.
And she kind of does the same awkward smile shrug that Bryn does when she's semi uncomfortable, but just going along with it. Pretty much what Bryn does 9 times out of 10 when the group decides to do something.
Well, nice to meet you, Jeanette. Thanks for joining us. As Caporn does like his gentleman bow and curtsy.
That's Kaporn. And this is Nori and Polly and Rachad, and that's Emric.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet all of you as well. And she kind of like looks down at you, Nori, because she's even a little bit taller than Bryn is. And kind of smiles and looks at you, and then like looks at Bryn, and then like checks it and understands. Well,
Mother,
don't mean to intrude or anything. Just wanted to not invasively let you know that I am here. Our last meeting was a bit kind of slap you in the face with it situation, so I thought a much calmer, hi, I'm here if you all want to hang out type of greeting was a better situation.
I believe we were headed back to our inn. Would you like to join us for a drink and some lunch?
I definitely do appreciate it. Polly. I'm sorry, trying to remember a lot of names at once. I do appreciate it, but I don't want to intrude, and I'm actually staying at one of the academy houses right now, and well, like I said, I'm here. Feel free to reach out. You have friends. She kind of like gestures to the group that can reach out to me, and now that you all have seen me, you can probably do that, so feel free. I'll be in town for a while.
She's going in my Rolodex.
Caporn's like doing like the artist look at her, like getting the proportion right. Okay.
You might not want to do that. That's a vulgar obscenity in our culture.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Yeah, that means you're ugly as pig shit. But just so you know. Oh, don't do that one either. And she kind of like,
Got it.
she said she does the same thing, but then she puts it on her knee, and as you're looking at it, she just gives you a smile and comes up and just socks you in the arm. That's a game we play. It's called the circle game.
Oh, fun game. Ow.
You take 3
She
points of
seemed like
bludgeoning
she.
damage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does she seem like she has the same sort of strength?
She's
as
a
Bryn?
Valkyrie, bro. Yeah, she's a shield maiden as well.
Bryn, I see where you get.
It's only in the arm. You just got a dead arm for like an hour. It's fine.
Caporn is a weak boy. I'm sure that hurt him a lot more. Yeah.
Like hit his arm, but went through to wherever his arm was
Broke a
connected
rib
to as well.
Broke her rib with 3 damage.
She
Gonna have a
1-inch
bruise on the
punched.
outside, the inside. And
Yeah,
his
she
body.
1-inch punched the arm, so all the damage went like past the arm and just hit the ribs. All right. So with that, she's just gonna kind of like rub your arm a little bit. Sorry, get a little carried away. You all have a great day, and hopefully I'll be seeing you soon.
Which house are you staying at?
Which one do you think?
Is it with the Fae?
Yes.
Okay.
Me and his wife get along.
Interesting. That makes sense.
She kind of like stage whispers to you guys. Hence why I knew where you were.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Warren looks over and he's like, "See, your family's always watching.
And with that,
All your family."
she kind of smiles and gives you all a last wave as she turns and starts to walk away. And you see across her back what looks to be like an interesting, almost lightning-shaped longsword and a buckler, but instead of it being circular, it's rectangular shape, and it has like two hooks that come out the sides. And she starts walking off. That's all that you can see that's peeking out from underneath, like her very long blonde hair.
Bye. I love you.
It's a type of shield. She just kind of waves as she's walking by.
Bryn, just a thought. You might want to ask her about your tattoos at some point.
Well, I got a lot of information. When was that? Oh no, when we were brought back into Castletown. But yeah, I could ask more.
Alrighty. Well, I'm hungry. Let's go get some. Actually, we just ate. Never mind.
Kaporan's always hungry.
Kaporan's always hungry boy.
It's because he's missing Belladonna and he doesn't have someone else to feed. So he's just constantly feeding himself.
Filling by proxy.
That's
If it's not
extremely
Nori, it's
sad.
himself.
You guys, every now and then
Every
he
step
brings
of
out the Belladala. It's got little crumbs at the edge of the mouth. Just like some chocolate smear across the chin.
Heartbreaking.
It really is, and it hurt. And it's just like, especially to the player, it's just like, ah.
Just like there's nothing you can say to that, and it's so sad.
Kaporan just pulls out Belladonna. It's just like, let's go get some work done on our new friends, Bella.
And like a 7-year-old with a doll. He skips in front of you all. And then you guys are like... and you guys are following, and then you realize that he's skipping just a little too fast and far, and you're starting to lose sight of him, and everyone starts to pick up the pace to keep in tow. You guys are like, no, within eyesight, within... Damn it.
Make sure I can see you and you can see me.
At least he's tall and it's hard to lose him.
I'm still having a hard time seeing him.
I'm still with them. I just wanted to be stealthy.
Kaporan does not notice that Charles like clung to his back.
You're just underneath the train of your cloak.
It's like the animal backpacks that, that like you
Little
see
Yoda
little kids
backpacks.
with. Sometimes.
Like the leash attached.
So, you guys eventually make it back to the inn, Weary Traveler. Yelena's waiting in the inn for you guys. She's got a small jar, opaque, and I'm glad you all made it. And she procures the jar, handing it to Polly first, as requested, and I can tell you now that he was outcast after a certain event happened at the... Oh my god, I forgot the word for it. Refugee camp. Knew it had an R. In which a battle happened and he killed one of the wizards there and had to leave. The rest of the camp seems to be fine. And no one else from the camp went along in the same mode of work. I hope that gives you some solace, and we appreciate the other information that he was able to portray to us. He was a good young thing that didn't deserve this.
Macha still being a backpack on Caparan, like other information you procured for us.
Orin kind of freaks out hearing Richard's voice right behind his head.
She kind of taps her nose and goes, "That's a bit more classified."
Thank you for coming here and delivering this and giving us any information that you could. We really, really do appreciate it.
She nods. She looks at you guys, especially you, Polly, and goes, "Well, with that, everything is good to go."
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
She
And
nods.
then we'll hand the jar to Cha.
It will be in the bag of holding.
Roger that. With that, Yelena parts the group and walks through and out the door.
I know it's Mom.
She stops at the door.
She doesn't want to be called back, Pan.
Oh, when did she say that?
When you were
Kapoor,
listening,
make a con save.
Do I have to get off his back?
No. It's a single target.
Not one.
All right. Kapoor has lockjaw for the next 24 hours.
you are the giver of great things.
Well, he won't be drinking any tea.
You do take 1 point of piercing damage.
Okay. How long does this last?
Usually 24 hours. Unless someone
Okay,
wants to
come on.
lesser restoration you.
I don't think anyone will opt freely.
I'll wait a minute.
I was gonna say, give it some time. You know,
Let it
maybe start to miss his
sing,
voice a
let
little.
everyone enjoy it a bit.
Let the lesson set in before we take away the consequence.
Especially if she's still here. Like, we don't want anything to happen to the rest of us.
Can't Raja, like, I assume it was a needle, take the
Yeah.
needle out and
Yeah, it
go
went
running
between
over
your
to
two
her?
fingers.
Can he go running over to her and go like, what is it?
My own concoction.
Can I have some?
If you join the league.
What does that mean?
In due time, Bird, in due time. And she reaches out and plucks the needle from your fingers.
He'll just sort of shrug. It's like completely lost and just walk back.
Nori just like goes, "I'm so sorry."
Orin just silently resides in himself and is like, screw this, I'm gonna go work on my project.
Hey,
And
she
just
could have
walks
hit you
away.
with the incontinent needle.
Orin doesn't. That's true. But Kaporn,
She got a few
It's just to
needles.
be like-
She can fuck with people, man.
he just accepts his punishment. He's like, I didn't remember that. And walks away.
So much easier to get rid of a guard if you all of a sudden make him need to use the bathroom.
I was thinking of the spellcaster locking down capabilities of that one. That was why I was like, can I have some?
Instantly takes out a caster.
Unless they're subtle spelling. Or they're master magicians, because then they don't need to.
Is all the stuff we ordered up in the room?
Yeah, anything that you guys had sent back to the place, if you dictated it whether to go to your room or the lobby or your guys' little special room, like whole 9 yards, wherever you wanted it to be. It's at. Probably the bigger stuff was sent to the actual like private room.
Antmeric, let's go check and see if your stuff came, and we can start getting to work on that.
I'm alright with that. Kaporn, Rachad, or do any of you want to help as well?
I'll tap Kaporn on the shoulder or on the hip and cast Lesser Restoration.
You have to do that so soon.
Points like
Kapoor.
Mostly.
Kapoor has gone silent for the rest of the evening. And he's just like, I'll help you guys later. I have a project to go work on.
Actually, your lumber is at the front desk, Emmerich.
Alright. I think it was just 35 pounds, so Emmerich shouldn't have an issue carrying it up to the room.
£35 of lumber. It seems like so much lumber.
I mean, we've
Well,
got our massive bag of holding. He'll make it
The
use
amount
it.
of statues that he wanted to make, it was only about right.
Rachel was going to offer, but then he sees all of that wood and is like, I have my own projects to take care of, in Kaparin's voice.
I'm doing this project, I'm doing it right.
Perhaps later.
Yeah, how about we take this all into like the room and start sorting stuff out and making plans on what we're gonna do with all this.
Sounds good to me.
Rachel will have gone off to go to his workshop to do the things that he did.
Roger that. And with those rolls, you were already successful, so you're good to go.
Score.
Dope. All right, so all the boys tarry off into different corners to go work on their projects, leaving the ladies just like, and they're all gone. And they do a little dance.
Kind of lag back a little bit, following Amric, and I look at Bryn and I nod a little bit and kind of wink and then move back upstairs.
Enjoy your time.
Bryn will nod back.
Is there anything, ladies, that you guys would like to do?
Breathe a sigh of relief.
Contemplate life decisions. Understandable.
Kapoor just in the next every hour just ascends into Bryn and is like, are you okay? Everything well? What you know doing? Hi.
You really, you would do that? Okay.
No, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't be wasting a bunch of spells
After the
like
second
that.
sending, you hear heavy footsteps running towards your room.
Kapoor's in his dome, just like, sorry.
She knows how the dome works. She's going to come up from underneath.
No, just grab Nori. I dispel magic stocked. Just goodbye.
The bubble disappears. Kapoor's dimension door.
Okay.
No, since it's just us, though. I talked to the owner who's giving us this room, and talked to, no, not all of them, but when I pulled Polly, when Polly pulled me aside, I talked to him about it, because I figured he could be talked to the others about it. But I set up dinner for just us in there. If you want to join me tonight?
Of course. Nari looks very happy.
And now to wait the 5 hours till dinner.
Hey, you know what? She asked. She's like, all right. Okay, we got that done. Whew.
Bryn
Didn't
awkwardly
forget.
turns around and goes, yes.
And since all the boys are in the same room, except for Racha, I'm gonna let them in on the fact that Bryn and Nori are having a private dinner tonight, just them in the dining room. So we need to figure out what we're gonna do somewhere else or downstairs alone. But I prefer we go someplace else because we've been here for 2 days and the food's kind of getting all the same.
Well, I'll just stay in the room. I'm
Kaporin,
not too worried about it.
make a performance check.
Okay.
Because knowing you, going through the town, you would have played at some point. Likely you played well enough to know that you would have gotten offered, like, by an individual carrying a bunch of pamphlets who would have stopped you and been like, hey, decently suave, black-haired, slicked over, just right individual. You played that pretty good. You should,
Thank
swing by tonight. And he hands you a pamphlet. There's always more room for more entertainment, and if not, you look like you can dance.
Oh, thank you.
Kinda
Warren looks down at the.
gives you a little nod and starts walking away. It is called the Silly Minotaur. It is a club.
We're going clubbing!
Kapoor's never gone to a club.
I just imagine Polly, for some reason, has phosphorescent hair dye that he just streaks through his beard.
Why do you think I want that paint kit?
It's pulling out glow sticks.
Warren summons MJ. He's like, "We're going, bro."
High five,
Did
but
you
the
say that
high five
outside?
goes through the light.
Did you just say that out loud?
Knowing Kaporin, yes.
Yes, Kapoor would probably say it out loud.
Then I will bust out of the room, knock on the girls' doors. Nori, 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 we need your help. Nori, we need your help. Nori, Nori, Nori.
Nori opens the door. What's wrong? What's happening?
Who died?
We need plant stuff that glows in your hair because we're going clubbing tonight.
Oh yeah, 100%. Nori will druid craft some plants that apparently glow.
No, Amric's going too, whether he likes it or not.
Would
Emmerich
this
likes
create some
it.
of this-
So glowing body glitter for Glamric.
Yeah, Nori just like sits down and slowly starts like waving her hand, and this like little plant starts growing up off the ground, and she'll scoop it up and say, just grind down the leaves and it'll work just fine. You'll light up like a Christmas tree. Oh wait, we don't have Christmas.
Pagan holiday.
MJ!
One of those holiday trees.
Yeah, winter holiday tree. There we go. Generic enough. Grind up leaves with some water and you'll be good to go.
Perfect. Now we just have to get a hold of Cha.
I mean, don't two of you have sending that you can like literally call for him wherever he is?
Don't worry, I'm
Yeah.
on it. Warren has already called up Richaw.
I have expect Kaporin to be like, hurry, come quick, we're all dying.
Dying of boredom. Let's go party.
Shaw kicks in the door, comes in swinging.
I don't know if I should be sad or happy that I'm missing this.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but I hope they have a fun time.
I'm sure we'll hear about it next morning if they survive until then.
Hopefully they're not too hungover.
I'm sure they will.
Question: would glibness work in this situation? Going clubbing?
Mm,
It is
Yes,
any
it would. It
charisma
lasts for an
check
hour. So you'd get a 15 automatically for everything.
plus my modifier of 13. That is 27 every roll.
Minimum.
you'd probably have to decide whether or not you want to use it for performing or on the dance floor.
One would decide to use it for performing.
Okay. Well, we'll wait till we get there.
I'm excited.
So, Richa, Kaporan, what are you saying to Richa?
Hey, Richa. Forgot to mention this earlier, but I got invited to the club. The boys are going. Would you like to join us? We're glowing.
Would I have finished my stuff by then, or no?
Finished enough to be able to finish it up the next day.
It could hold up to 7 people comfortably. You looked very appetizing. Fucking weirdos.
His language is coming together.
Kapoor like repeats, and he's like, I don't know if that's a yes or a no.
It's a possibly maybe.
Well,
But that
it's
works
a
for
sending
me.
spell, so you would also get the tone. So Richa, if you were trying to basically say yes, you would also confer that he was just trying to say yes.
I probably had enough left over to stay. I'd say I was about to shit myself, but I'm already there, and I'm there. Is what he's saying.
All right.
It's the boys' night out, it seems.
Oh, the list of words I've got for Richa to learn.
Oh God.
What is
Or
angel
laid.
dust?
Can't seem to find Molly. Molly. Hey, Nori set you guys up to start raving, so might as well. Okay, so after a few hours and prepping in all the right locations, Pawn is going to have such a fun time with this scene.
Oh, the lights.
By the end of it, you all are individually and differently glowing with how you decided to work yourselves up and get yourselves ready. Polly probably working it into his beard and hair. Richa accenting his arms.
Yeah, all the white feathers are like tipped in yellow because that's his go-to color apparently for paint. And then he's got like weird facial makeup on that just glows, but it's like actual, like somebody did his makeup kind of thing.
I like to imagine that the way I grew the plant is that there was different colors, so they got to choose which one they
Yeah.
got.
Oh,
so
definitely.
they just glow
Well,
whatever
I mean,
color they want.
within respects, like 3 colors, and they can mix a little bit, but mainly like green, yellow, and like a blue.
Point to kind of put a little bit on himself and then accent the lute a little bit, just like, you're gonna look great tonight.
And then Amric basically is just like outlining all of his tattoos with paint because it's easy.
Since I don't need it right now, I'm going to cut up my fur coat to make accent pieces for everybody. So like little wrist things and like collars and boot covers and stuff like that.
Can you give Rachai a loincloth? Because that will be all he wears, essentially.
I will totally do that. Yeah, if he asks for it, absolutely.
Loincloth and Uggs.
There we go. I got this.
Which all have speckled little bits of phosphorus coloring at the tips. So like all like the very furry tips have little phosphorus. So it's like a landing strip to your crotch of the loincloth. It looks like this lit up V.
And that, along with like the makeup that he's wearing, is like more of a lighter blue, while the rest of it is all yellow through his feathers.
And what's great is that the rest of him's pitch black, so it's literally just like this floating color when he's in the dark ass room.
He's got this Joker face of makeup going, and blue, yellow tipped feathers down his arms and legs,
And when
in
things
a V.
and when things get crazy, boom, an extra pair of arms that glow. Okay. You guys are prepped and ready to go by like probably 3:30 p.m. So then it's just like, well, we should probably go eat before we go. And then you guys go down to eat, just all fucking raved out. And some people understand, others don't. No one questions.
Do I have any rubber left over that I could like make into a pacifier?
Yeah.
All right, I will have that just in case.
And then you guys go back up
bird.
to your room to wait until it gets dark to end up going to the club.
While we're up there, I get bored. Do I have anything to grind diamonds with, like a mortar and pestle or anything?
You can request to use one from the kitchen.
Okay, I will grab one and I will like glue diamond dust on our faces in certain spots, like underneath our eyes.
Very
and shit.
nice, yeah.
You're using a diamond for that?
Well, I have 14 gold worth of diamonds that I'm not using for anything else. So
Yeah, those little blood
Apparent-
diamonds.
Kaparin is about to use an 8th level spell for this. And I do not care what we are doing anymore.
That gem will be so much more useful once we get that spell out of there.
You said it was.
This is why.
Go ahead.
This is why the gem rolled the way it did. It was for this day.
You only got one shot. Do not let this chance to blow. This opportunity burns once in a lifetime. What were you saying, Emmerich?
You said it's what, like 3:30 right now?
By the time you guys go down for dinner and then come back up, yeah.
Then until we're ready to leave, Amric will just spend his time starting on his project.
Okay, easy enough to do. Just going over the blocks of wood and like getting rid of the outsides, just prepping every block to get worked on. You know, just the remedial tasks of preparing everything.
Yeah, definitely don't want to go too far into it and possibly fuck up any part of my outfit.
Oh yeah, definitely not. All right,
Point.
go ahead, Gabar.
Oh no, I would like to do the same as Amric, like just outlining my fabric for the next day.
Okay.
Of course, not doing any other.
So while that's happening, and as night falls, and eventually you guys hear the pre-gaming of the boys starting to leave. You hear the door open, and you've got Rachada is going. You've got Amric like hitting the wall. Kaporin's plucking. Polly's moonwalking.
Got MJ in the background.
Fantasy EDM music.
Yeah. You were in Seattle. You definitely heard it at some point. Um,
I mean,
the
MJ could be pulsing.
yeah, the door closes and you hear this shuffling of chaos move down the hallway before it goes quiet once again.
Yeah, I think I'm glad I'm not going.
Yeah, that seems. Well, they're gonna have an exciting night.
A few minutes later, you guys get a knock on your door. It is the front desk woman. She knocks and lets you know that your room is ready.
Okay. Yeah. We'll walk over there, I guess.
Okay. Walking down to, yeah, it's down a level. So going down to the level with the room, you guys go to it. There's a couple people outside, dressed decently well, being led by the front desk lady. She kind of nods to them. They both open the doors to the place. It's nice silverware laid out. The large, long table has been removed, and it's just a smaller, more intimate table. Most of the entire room has been darkened out, except for three like little candelabras in the middle of the table, and nice glassware, some good, very nice plates and silverware decorate the sides of the table. Two chairs, one apart from the other, across from the other. The table's not ridiculously huge, so it's not like you guys are like having to. How's your food? But it's close enough to have an intimate conversation. But she says she pulls chairs out for both of you, lets you all sit, and says that the appetizers will be out momentarily.
What made you think of this?
Well, when was the last time we had dinner together?
That is very true.
Without them? I just thought it'd be a good time.
Lauren just has a big old smile on her face.
She comes back and pours wine for both of you, and then a few look like garden salads have been arranged and plates get plated in front of you all, and just a slight sound of music seems to come from somewhere, though no one's in here. It just a little background music to make it not so quiet as everyone leaves the room once again.
I know we haven't done this often or a lot, but I thought it would be a nice change of pace.
It is. I like spending time with you.
I do too. It's very nice. Calming.
It's good just to be us for a little while.
So after a bit of quiet, enjoying the low music compared to the music that you're used to hearing from someone in your party, which is basically blaring and directly behind you, this much more softer, sort of violin-esque type of music just carrying on, giving a calmer vibe than the EDM party that had left not too long ago. After you guys have finished a bit of your meal, a couple of the servers come in and take the plates away. The woman comes back and she asks what you guys would like for dinner. They do have a vegetarian option, but they also have what would be considered to like a nice steak. So the vegetarian option is kind of like a sort of like eggplant parmesan, and then steak and potatoes.
Yep, Nori goes with the vegetarian option.
And Bryn does not go with the vegetarian option.
Yeah, Bryn likes meat.
Good choice. Good choice.
So she takes your orders and says she'll be back momentarily.
Porn ordered some tea to be delivered while they're away.
No. Um, after a few moments, she comes back in and kind of like gestures to you, Bryn, saying, do you mind checking the meats and to make sure that it's correct for you because everyone's different. And vegetarian option, not too hard to choose when it's cooked or not.
Of course, I'll be right back, Marion. She'll give her a kiss on the cheek before walking out.
The lady starts talking with her, and he's like, sorry, I meant to get it beforehand, and they walk out the door. About 20 seconds later, through the door, Valek steps through and goes, wait, you fucker! And the door slams behind him. And all of a sudden, you see across the entirety of the walls and door this shining bit of silver and gold scrawling in different runes and spell work that just skitters across the walls and ceiling of the entire room. As Valek is just standing there and single pounds the back end of the door. Just.
God fucking damn it.
As Valek turns around, dressed in decent, very nice clothes. He walks forward into the light with his hands behind his back. Hello, Nori.
Hello, Valek.
So, it seems our significant others have plans and like to talk.
It seems so.
All right. He goes to the chair across from you, sits down, kind of like looks at you through like the roses, the candelabra, and he's just like, and he just starts taking the candelabras off the table. Like, this is awkward.
Yeah, Nori allows that. She looks very annoyed.
He looks down at the plate. Well, I hope you were able to have at least a bit of your supper.
Just a bit.
Must be nice. Be nice if we at least had food.
Were you not given that opportunity?
No, we just got here.
Of course.
My wonderful, wonderful wife. You know, I'm thinking she needs a demotion recently. Been getting told nepotism and the whole 9 yards. I think that we should put that on the table. Maybe not this table, but we should look back at that at some point. So,
She just kind of folds her arms across her chest and leans back.
how have you been?
No, same soup, just reheated.
Sounds about right. Soupy.
What about you?
Well, I would say the same old, but unfortunately you don't understand what my same old is, so I feel like it's either a very long conversation of my day-to-day, which I really don't feel like getting into, or just being like, it's alright. I would say can't complain, but and he kind of just gestures to the table in front of him.
Yep.
Just kind of just drums his fingers on the table
Nori's almost mirroring him, but not quite, just kind of fiddling with her thumbs underneath the table. Just sitting there.
It's kind of like that thing where you're about to, and then you realize that you would be mirroring him, and so you like forcibly stop yourself from doing it. Like, no, okay, something else. So, do they have something specific they want us to talk about?
Not to my knowledge.
Wonderful.
Yep. It's great. I love being I love being tricked into situations that I don't know if I was mentally prepared for yet.
Yeah, those are the best. Is there anything you want to ask of me?
I mean, I have plenty of questions, but I suspect the answers are going to be all they're above your pay grade.
It's better than sitting here in utmost silence. Maybe there's an amount of words that we need to speak before the spell gets dropped, and then we could be free to go. So I'm not sure exactly what, how, or when this thing is going to end. So hopefully sometime before starvation. Because I'm sorry, but I think I'll win that fight.
I've got spells on me so that I could have food whenever I need be. I won't starve.
Have you tried casting
is
said
painful.
spell?
Oh no, is this...
He snaps his fingers and nothing happens.
You asshole! Just glaring at the door.
Well, feel free to ask what you want, and I mean, if the answer is it's above your pay grade, then at least you're prepared for it. And if it's not, then surprise, because, you know, we're all in for surprises tonight.
Yep, very surprising.
So I'll give you a moment to think of those, because, Bryn, as you walked out of the door, you immediately got shoved off to the side by the server and the front desk woman. And as you do so, through the darkness, you see Yelena and Valik approach. Valik goes to open the door and jumps inside, as is customary for him to do, because he wants to always make sure if there is any trap, it gets sprung on him. Unfortunately, the wife was the one springing the trap as she slams the door behind him, sealing him in. And you just hear her going, he's gonna be so pissed.
That worked.
I know, right? Well, I've got a meal for us down the street. Or not down the street, down the hall. With a couple of drinks. I need one, do you?
I probably will. Always gonna be pissed.
So let's go. I know, I want to be away from here when the yelling starts. As you hear, "You fucker!" from the other side of the door.
Yeah, I don't think I want to be here when that opens.
And like a slightly quieter, "You asshole."
So, arm in arm, she takes you down the hallway and through another set of double doors, which she throws you into and slams behind. And your mother is sitting in this room.
I would like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not.
She is seemingly hip to this jive, as she's sitting there with a bottle of wine in front of her, currently a glass, and she's munching on what looks to be like a large turkey leg. She's kind of kicked back in her chair a little bit. Her sword and shield rest next to the table, and she's sort of like rocking on 2 feet of the chair, and with one hand turkey leg, one hand glass of wine. Welcome.
I see Yelena has told you about her plan.
That's one thing you need to know about these sneaky types. There's usually 3 to 4 levels of it, even further. How do you think I got here so quickly?
Amazing.
So come, sit. There's plenty of roasted bird to go around.
Well, it's a good thing Rachel's not here.
That's the only reason why we're having it, because I know it'd just be me and you.
That's fair.
So as you approach the table and sit down, she lets go and from her rocking situation, and she slams forward and kind of wears her jaw a little and goes, "Where's your armor, shield, sword?" "Oh yes, dinner date, I understand." "Do you not have one
Be a
weapon
little-
on you at least?"
That'd be a little suspicious. Well, is this room warded like the other?
Nope, this one's just sealed to forbid entry, just in case they get out a little sooner than we initially intended.
Is Yelena gonna be okay?
She's
I'm sure she's fine.
much more capable of dealing with Valak than pretty much any of us. She's the only one that can affect it with magic, so that is definitely a one-up on her side of things.
But yeah, I technically have a weapon on me, and for the first time, she'll extend her arm blade.
Oh, very nice. I like it. She kind of like just touches it to make sure that it's real. Interesting.
I thought it would be handy.
I see what you did there.
And then she'll put it back.
Well, I feel like this is only a more appropriate time for you to go ahead and divulge everything that you know and everything that I can tell you, rather than having the party of others listening or watching in. Like, I can appreciate them, Valak doing that, but it's a little awkward to have him sort of looming over the entire thing.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, for me, I've had runes change. I've gained a tattoo. Though the Fang said it was a good sign.
You let me in on
That's
that
nice.
one, yes.
I don't know. I just closed my notes. Hang on.
Well, just like
Oh,
Nori, I'll give you time for questions if you'd like.
Okay.
And we could jump back to Nori and Valak.
As I'm slowly writing down questions I have, so I actually have something to say.
Oh, we can jump back and forth. Luckily, there's 2 interrogations going on.
Yeah, so fun, and this one was totally consensual.
As the conga line of EDM partygoers continues their way through the town.
They're just having a fun time.
Yep. May or may not have had random people just start to tag along.
Is this a group performance role? Is this?
You know what? Let's go for it.
Group performance role, you got
Yeah.
this.
All right, let's see. Who's about to trip everyone up?
Probably. I canceled you out. We're good.
Natural one.
So
A nat 1 and then a nat 20. Classic.
going by height, it would.
Porn's still working it up there, so it's not complete height, but Amric's picking up the pace.
Going by height, it would be Polly first, then Racha. So Polly's about to trip, and then Racha catches him and like makes it part of the conga line, because you know how you have to follow the person in front of you and the moves they're doing. So Polly does the trip, and then Racha does like the trip but catches Polly, and then like Kaporan's behind him and does the trip, and then Amric's just like super into it, and it's just like, yeah.
Sorry, I'm not used to my beard being this long.
Just go with it.
Probably you learned just to throw it over your shoulder, make life easier for yourself.
Wear it like a
It's
boa.
I blend in with my fur collar. Yeah.
It's like that part from Kevin Hart's stand-up. You got another thing coming. All right, Nori.
So both just sitting there awkwardly, Nori goes, well, normally it'd be more of a two-way get-to-know-you thing, but you kind of already have a file on me. How long has that been there?
Since you interacted with Brisa,
Wow, that was a very long time ago.
you know, it seems like a very long time, but it hasn't even been a year yet.
Yeah, and there's already an uncomfortable amount of information in that file, judging by how large it is.
We are nothing but, if not thorough. You guys have been tailed on and off since you've met Brisa.
It's just a weird thing to think about that there's been someone following you for months.
Well, usually we just do a scry situation, but since you have, and he points to your bicep with the snake, it made it a little bit more difficult, so we had to physically send someone after you. They probably wouldn't say it straight out, but Ari and Jonko know you guys pretty well.
I still am not sure who that is.
Blonde individual is part of the league. It's fine.
Ah.
So, questions?
So we're in an anti-magic room. Well, magic isn't supposed... It works differently around you? Then why is this working?
Well, I can't give all of it away. But around me is its own sort of anti-magic field. So, basically, think of it like a ball. And this room is an even larger ball that I am now inside. If for some reason magic were to be accessible in here and used against me, my ball would still protect me. Because it is one and the same of what this room is being created for.
That makes sense. I'm guessing you can't divulge what caused that.
He kind of like gestures to the table. Well, definitely not on the first date.
Or he just kind of looks at him like, why?
It's much more of a personal secret than it is a trade one.
Hmm. I suppose so. I'm sorry, I'm just A, already not very good at talking to people, and B, I don't know how to interact with you.
It's troublesome. But though we have a specific connection, I do not expect. Don't feel the need to treat me in any extra particular way. You can treat me wholeheartedly as a military officer, or you can treat me like a good friend. I'm not going to be running around calling you daughter, because I did not raise you and don't feel like I deserve that opportunity. At least not yet. If you do not want me to even remotely get around that situation, I completely understand and will acquiesce to your whim on that.
But what do you want?
One thing I've at least found with most women is they love asking that question. My wife does it all the time. And though I've said it many other times, this time I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I only want as much or as little as you want.
My one request is that you do not call me daughter. Not for the reasons you think. It's more of Zelik would call me that, and it has more negative connotations, I guess. And I view you in a more positive light, and I'd rather not have that association, I guess.
Well, there's a few other choice words I guess we can use, but I completely understand. Yelena says my humor is a bit dark, but it's always bastard, child. Please note that I did say it was humor before I said it. It is meant as a joke. Just, I feel like I need to preface that. Okay, all right.
No, I got it. I mean, you're not wrong.
Hence why the humor of it, you understand how it all ends up connecting in the, okay.
Thanks for explaining the joke.
Yeah, nope, not a problem. It's fine. Wow, I really never wanted alcohol more in my life.
Oh, I still have 2 things of Ame's alcohol in my bag with me.
And
Would
which
you have
bag?
brought
Pull
that
that
to
shit
dinner,
out.
though?
Which is
Oh,
it?
I can't get it out. Fuck. That's sad. I would have offered that, but I can't.
Did you store it in the? You stored it in the? I thought you just had it in your backpack. Oh.
Yeah, you probably would not have also brought in the bag of holding
That's true.
with you to dinner.
Yeah, probably not.
Valek's gonna
Perfect.
take out a little, almost looks like a pearl, and he pinches it, and it's kind of squishy. But as he lets go of it, it lights up just a little bit, not a whole hell of a lot. And he kind of throws it, but it's attached to a string. And it just goes to the corner of the rooms. And he's just lighting up to try and see what the rest of this room has to offer. I was hoping they'd possibly stashed a couple casks in here or something.
I don't think they were that kind.
He slowly reaches into his shirt pocket and pulls out
Did you?
a small flask.
Oh yeah, isn't there wine on the table?
There was 2 glasses of poured wine.
He just pulls it out, and Nora's just like, interesting thing to bring to dinner.
See, in my line of work, you never fully are prepared, as he starts to gesture to the rest of the room, of what you might get yourself into. Even as simple as going to dinner. So, he kind of opens up one chest of his jacket, and you see about 7 different types of daggers. He opens up his other chest, and it's got like 3 different pockets. One's about like 15 feet of coiled rope. One is a little portion where you're guessing the flask came from because it's currently unbuttoned. And underneath that is a small grappling hook.
Holy shit. How many pockets do you have?
Oh no, it's just like they're like buttoned, strapped in. Like I said, being prepared comes in handy for most things. I brought my nice jacket because I was going to dinner with my lovely, beautiful, amazing wife. Who has been a pain in my ass
loving,
recently.
caring girlfriend. Just so happy.
You don't know Bryn had anything to do with this at this point.
You 100% had something to do with it.
Bryn's ears start burning. Anyway. So you mind while you ponder upon questions if I ask a few of my own?
Feel free.
He takes out one of the daggers. This one seems to almost look like ice. As he kind of just spins it, the tip of it along one of his fingers, and the handle in the other hand. Not threatening at all. I just need to do this to get my mind straight.
I understand.
So, I know a lot. Between Arix and the dossier.
Please don't trust everything Alex has to say. He likes to exaggerate.
I trust Arix as far as you could throw him. Without wild shaping.
Or he just slowly nods.
But he does help fill in some gaps, at least. So, first off, about your mother. I am terribly sorry. Not just for the fact of having to witness it, but the fact that it happened in the first place. No one, and trust me on this, no one should have to witness ever such a thing of their parent. It seems that that curse has befallen not only myself, but passed along to you. So, with that out of the way, I feel like maybe answering some things you might have questions about that maybe don't feel entirely up to asking them just yet is a better use of my time. You, as far as my side goes, do not have any other family. I am the last survivor of my family. The youngest out of all my siblings, but they all perished, along with my parents. We are originally from District 1. Many years ago, before it was District 1, obviously. I vowed to make something of myself to a degree and get revenge on those that needed it. Hence, led me to being skilled in the way that I am. And when the takeover, the insurrection, the coup was being propagated, I was tasked with killing the commander by someone in the king's court. The only person that I've ever lost a fight to. And so I indebted my blade to the commander after that. And there's a reason why I'm called the Fang, for I am the person who killed the king. The specific blade that I used to kill him was called the Dragon's Fang. And since that magic doesn't work on me situation, the king cursed me at his dying breath. Unfortunately, magic doesn't work, so that blade is now cursed. And he pulls out the last dagger out of his bunch, and you see a green-handled, green blade, like dark green blade, and it's hooked at the very end, and it is constantly dripping blood. And he goes, and that curse will forever be attached to this blade. But I carry it with me to remind myself that even kings fall.
What was the curse?
Fortunately, at that time, I was not as adept with magic as I am now, so unfortunately, I could not retain what the curse was. Possibly just a constantly blood on my hands curse, or it could have been some other type of blood curse. I am not entirely sure. But after that, with the takeover successful, I was put in charge as the right hand for the commander of the League of Assassins. And with that comes an interesting sort of connection with information. We are assassins, we are spies, we are all the clandestine operations that you can think of. And we have people everywhere. As far as it all goes, that's what we did for decades. Until more recently, with the border crisis between Cydia and Ixia heating up not too long ago, the commander got a bit... we all got worried for the commander at some point. Cydia was sending its spies, and though we were pretty good at picking them off and clearing them up, the paranoia set in a bit, and food tasters for the commander started to become a regular thing. I won't tell all of her story, but this is where Yelena came into play. She was a food taster, and I trained her, and the intimate time that we had together constantly, day in, day out, eventually led to more of a relationship, and us wanting to make sure that we were both safe. Just like you and Bryn probably feel now. So, she seemed very adept at certain things, picked up very quickly on others, saved the commander's life once, and with some training, she was able to be my right hand. And we've been together ever since. And then a few years later, I find out I have a daughter. And my bastard wife and her malicious girlfriend decide to trap me in a room with her to force us to speak.
Yep. What was the whole situation? Because my mother said that you came to kill Zelik, and that she found you in her room with a knife, and that she met you a couple other times after that. That's about all I know. Am I allowed to know more?
That was the job, initially. And she talked me down from doing it that night. And then I ended up getting other orders to rescind that kill order on Zelik. But that was quite a while ago. And, well, I don't think I need to spell out for you what happened the other few nights, but we enjoyed each other's company, very much so, and she wanted to get away, but she didn't know how to do so safely. And I told her to reach out for me if she found a way to do so, but she was worried about her son, and since he was so much like his father, at least back then, I really doubt Zelik is anything like Oryx now. But magic wasn't really available in Ixia during that time, so at least it wasn't a great choice. So I waited for a while, never heard from her. So I thought she just either decided to brunt it or found a better way to exist. Unfortunately, she wasn't a person of military interest, so I couldn't keep tailing her or make some sort of dossier on her, but between then and now, the next time I heard from her was when Arx told me what had happened.
During that, Nori teared up for a bit and then stopped and just looks at him and goes, "And you never checked back up?"
I believe at some point Zelik understood that someone besides him and his wife and family had been in that room specifically, so between moving and the different warding as he grew more in power made things a bit difficult to do so subtly without military approval. There's only so much I can do on my free time before it becomes an international incident. By that time, I had a record. King Killer, the Fang. If people found me, they knew me. Though I pride myself on not being found. You think your bird's sneaky?
Yes, you are certainly very sneaky.
So I believe that details a lot of time. Any other questions?
What was my mom like?
Well, I saw her in a much different light than probably you ever saw her.
Which is why I'm asking.
She was strong. uh, Mentally and emotionally. She saw me the first time. She didn't scream, run, cry. She calmly talked to me and convinced me not to do what I was ordered here to do. She was not on the list of people to take out, and after talking with her but just for a few moments, I couldn't bring myself to either end her life or incapacitate her. She was a very good conversationalist and drove me to want to talk with her again. She had a penchant for being able to talk her way in and out of rooms. don't think Zelik would be in half the standing that it will definitely not half the standing that he is now, but during that time wouldn't have gotten as far as he did without her. And I think he knew that, which is probably one of a many list of reasons of what he did.
I never got to know her. And I don't know how I feel about it. And that it's nice to know that she was someone who was strong. And for her to do as much as she did for me, she had to be.
From what Avita has told me, it seems like she was the mastermind behind everything. It's one thing to find a way to sneak a child through certain locations. It's another to indebt a master magician to you to make sure it all gets pulled off successfully. That alone should be enough to give you a small taste of how tough she was.
My entire family is so damn strong.
Not saying the bar is high, because in other things... Let's just take Arx, for example. Though he is gifted in the things that he's gifted in, when it comes to social cues and reading a room, I feel like leaps and bounds doesn't justify the difference between you and him. So, everyone's strong in their own things. I'm not saying that you're done with garnering strength in your own ways. I'm just saying that everyone has their own thing, and I bet if you leaned into it a bit more, you too would be able to talk your way in and out of rooms. I see a lot of your mother in you. I mean, hell, you got the strongest person in your party to like you.
I'm still baffled by that, not gonna lie.
And then you're also dating the second strongest person in the party.
I'm baffled by most. I'm also not going to lie.
Never underestimate a sneaky bird.
He is very strong, and
I've already
I don't know
checked
what
he's
he
not
does
in
all the
here.
time. Yeah, I'm okay at finding him, but he gets by pretty damn easy.
So though she is taken from you much earlier than you possibly would ever have wanted, just know she left you with enough of her. So that way she's never truly gone.
Yeah. I just hope she gets a chance to rest.
He just kind of nods at that. And lets a little bit of silence kind of overtake letting a little bit of that violin music, which is still kind of coursing in the background, kind of just take over and just lets it be quiet for a bit. Flash forward down the hallway.
Love tragic conversations.
With two of the party members who hate, or not hate, but have trouble with conversations.
She sits across from you, Bryn. Still eating the turkey leg, though not so, like, carefree one-handed as she was doing so on the chair. She's now more over the plate and taking her time, kind of just looking at you and taking you in. So, this is fun.
Unexpected, but I guess it's not shocking.
Oh, if you've got
Should've
yourselves involved with this group whatsoever, just expect that, yeah, everything's gonna go to shit. Constantly, preferably not in your favor.
I mean, yeah, it's how it's been for a while, it seems like, but you know, we've gotten through it.
So, tell me, what have you guys been up to? Tell me what you can, obviously. I know the whole secret, stabby situation.
As Rachel would like to put it, fucking up and almost dying. A lot.
All right.
But you know, we were able to get a lot done. I don't know. Oh, we went. That was fun. We made it into the astral sea plane, whatever it was, and found a place called Seattle. It's a weird place.
Seattle?
Yeah.
Is it like
strange?
a sea cow?
You would think, right? But
Yeah,
no, it
like
was
sea cattle. That's
no, it was a large city with large towers. Like, you've seen the spire in Cydia?
yes.
Like, bigger than that, I think it was.
Wow.
Massive. And there was a lot of them.
Well, that just seems excessive.
But they didn't think so. It was a really strange place.
Was there at least
But-
better architecture than the spire?
I think it depends on who you ask. So if you don't like the spire, then yes, probably.
Okay. So,
But-
what have you killed?
I haven't kept track of that as Becca. I don't know.
Make it easier. What have you fought?
Lord, it's so many things. Well,
You haven't talked with many Valkyrie, have you?
no, obviously not.
All right. You should probably keep a little notepad, and she kind of like pulls out this little notepad of hers, which is old and hasn't been used in a while. But she goes, "Usually like to keep track."
I'll start doing that and think back to what we've done. To add that too.
Well, I'll definitely be looking for that next time we talk. What's the biggest thing you've taken down so far, or been part of taking down at least? I think that one we can at least compare. She kind of opens up her little notebook and starts flipping through pages.
Well, I think the biggest thing would be, is it a Balrog, I think, or something like that? A demon looking
She's kind of like
nasty thing.
she's kind of like flipping through her papers and stops when you say Balrog. She closes her little notebook. That's nice. It's a bit
Okay.
big.
Yeah, that's pretty big. Definitely wasn't just us fighting it though.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. The biggest thing I've killed, just kind of quickly opens it and like flip, 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 is a beholder. But
See, this is the problem with my lack of knowledge, like on D&D side. I'm like, I don't know if that is.
a
Okay.
giant eyeball that shoots out disintegration
Right.
rays.
Oh,
and,
I have a cookie cutter of that. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take another shot.
cookie cutter.
I do. I have those little D&D cookie cutters,
There you
and
go. There's
that's
the-
one of them.
Yep, the playmat right there. Yeah,
How did
unfortunately,
that go?
I never got in a situation where I could fight a Balrog. It sounds enticing. Me and your father, Fjord, have gone through a lot together and fought a lot of things.
I'm sorry, Val. Did you say that they did?
Yeah, she
You-
cut her.
she, like,
She cut herself
Stumbled to say father, right? Okay.
off. She was yeah.
It doesn't surprise me that you two fought a lot of things like that.
Well, back when we were part of the regulars of the Valkyrie, we got up to some trouble. We connected with the Ixian military after the coup and were able to be part of the mass extermination of large mythical creatures that was taken upon themselves. To where I initially met Valek and a few of his other compatriots. Sure you came across Ilinade.
Yes, he actually helped me get into the military. Well, I guess I'm assuming it was him. Now, I don't know. Well, I guess you didn't, but I don't know. I think it was him still.
Yes, he likes sowing that internal chaos. So he would definitely be the one to have helped you out. But, nevertheless, no, I was part of that group, so the larger things, the Asimars took care of themselves. But we were there for Beholder, we were there for Hydra, some of the large basilisks, a few trolls and ogres. We had line on a dragon, juvenile red dragon, but once things start flying, makes it a bit difficult for us melee fighters. So the Asimars went ahead and took care of that one.
So is the Fang? Is he one? Is he Asmar as well?
No, no,
Okay,
no, he's human.
he's human.
Bleeds like one too.
I don't think I want to be the reason he bleeds at this point. Although,
If you're ever
I
the
might be
reason he bleeds, you need to make sure that he dies at the same time because he doesn't like bleeding. I mean, no one really likes bleeding, except for masochists that try to like cut off their arms or something. But those are mainly just Goliaths. They have a penchant for trying to chop off body parts, whether their own or others.
Laugh all you like. It still worked.
Although I think after tonight, he might be the reason I bleed a little bit.
Well,
He can't take it out on Yelena. Something's gonna happen. I can just feel it.
him possibly knowing that you got put into a situation directly similar to his, I feel, might help ease the blow. Probably for not only him, but Nori as well. Which, she kind of like gives you the eyebrow raise. Tell me about that. How's that going? Obviously,
it's
we
going
ruined
well.
dinner. Yeah, I wouldn't say
Well-
that it's going well after tonight, because
It was going fine until appetizers. But no, I think it's been good. It's hard because, we've been doing so much shit, but we're there for each other, and I think that's what matters.
well, just enjoy whatever time that you do get with one another, whether it's surrounded by a group of people or you do get some alone time. It's always try to make whatever time you do have memorable in some way. Even if it's something as small and as stupid as a random game of tag in the middle of the night, or just randomly walking down the street and you just stop her and give her a large kiss. Something to make every moment, even the most mundane, somewhat memorable. So that way, anytime you look back on a past memory, you can smile.
She'll nod at that. Yeah. It's just didn't expect it, I guess. Meeting everybody, meeting her. So even though it's been some time, it still feels new.
So, any questions for your newly found mother?
Yes, so many. Well, and that's also the reason I feel like this isn't the same exact same thing as with the Fang and Nori. Just the fact that I wanted to come see you anyways and ask you questions, but I was waiting a little longer, so I guess it just sped up the time.
Fire away. We've got some time before chaos is erupting at the door.
But they can't get in, right?
Until it gets dropped, no.
Okay.
I believe your Nori has a bit of magic herself, and she might be able to dispel it if she's keen enough.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Oh, okay. I'll have to see if we survive this as a relationship then. But so you know about the flowers, and
To a degree. I
Do you
don't know
know-
specifically about them, but I know that Valik has given them a tone of approval. So, something like this, I trust him.
I see. She'll try to show her, I guess, without taking all her clothes off again.
Luckily, it is your
she's
mom,
like-
so it's
Yeah.
not like
No, well, yeah. Still like a woman she met, not too long ago.
Who looks
Um,
eerily like you.
not creepy at all. It's
No.
fine.
Just a little. She looks
But-
at it and, like, do you show her the fact that you can, like, pull it out a little bit?
Yes, yes, I do.
She eyes widen when she sees it, and no, he's told me, but this is still weird to see.
It's a weird sensation too, so it's a little weirder for me.
I
think.
can only imagine.
Do you have any more information on them? I know he said that the deity is old and not many know of them anymore, but they're good.
No, unfortunately, I don't know specifics.
I mean, anything else? I don't. There's nothing much that I have. I mean, Polly, the dwarf in our group. Um, I think he follows the same deity.
I think he probably seems to be a better font of information than I do.
I don't know if he knows much either. But we can definitely try.
Yeah, like I said, Valik has given the thumbs up on it, and if he says it's okay, I trust that it is, and I wouldn't. If he's not giving more information, there's probably a reason for it. And I don't think it's a nefarious one. When it comes to deital situations, it's a soft spot for him. And he wouldn't mess about on that.
I just wish I knew why they couldn't come out. And I know this one turned into like this cool pattern, but I don't know why they come out otherwise.
Well, gods do weird things. They all have their reasons. Unfortunately, unless you get a actual one-on-one conversation with them, you're never gonna know.
Yeah. And speaking of weird things, apparently one of our gods gave Racha, our Kenku friend, astral wings.
Yep.
That's
Your
an
bird
interesting
friend's
thing.
a monk?
Partly.
That's interesting.
Yeah. We're not really sure how it happened, but we know it's, yeah,
I'm sure there's
strange.
quite a few Valkyrie up north. I would love to talk with him. As much as a Kenku can talk. It's not every day that even Valkyrie get that path.
I'm pretty sure he'd try his best to talk and or pantomime his way through that conversation.
I'd pay to be a part of that, audience.
I think we all might. I think we just have to have the right people there to try to guess what he's saying or something.
Well, the goddess of the Astral Fist is pretty smart. Hopefully she'll be able to decipher whatever he decides to pantomime.
Yeah, but Rachal's Rachal. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things. It's either you get it or you don't.
Well, here's hoping, and she drinks more of her wine.
There's another wine glass, right?
Oh yeah,
Great.
the wine bottle's
There's
on
another.
the table too.
Love that. And we'll grab some too.
So what else you got for me?
Well, do you go back there anymore? Go back to Linby anymore? I know you said you checked up every once in a while, but when I was growing up.
Probably. Back when we left, it was very frowned upon to leave. Now that more, such as yourself, have ventured out, I think it's a softer blow. Um, I don't think I would want to go back, though, without Floki.
I don't think I can blame you for that one.
It'd be too hard to see everywhere and just see him. Sure you don't know this, but we grew up together.
Really?
He, a few years older, but you know, there's not a whole lot of children running around at once up there. So, age range sort of gradiates between the kids, and we all play together.
What was he like outside of the military?
Oh.
'Cause that's how I
Oh,
knew him.
God. Well, he's definitely a trickster. Pranks, jokes. After a while, growing up, I noticed that though he was always doing something, either crazy or possibly stupid, it was. It took me a while, but I eventually learned that he was doing everything for me. Everything always was an attempt to get me to smile. May not have originated that way, but it eventually became that way, and once I knew that and I knew what he was trying to do, I would purposely not smile for most things to make him try even harder. Until eventually, one time when he was shaving the rear end of a donkey to look like one of our teachers, I said, "Stop shaving that ass, you ass, and just ask me out already." And since then, we've been together.
That's amazing.
And the pranks and the tricks changed from not only trying to make me laugh, but including me. And I'll admit, and she kind of like gestures to the room, I fell in line, but it's much more fun to have a partner in crime.
Bryn's gonna take another sip of her wine. Um, what about other family? I mean, I know you left me, but
Well, that was one of the main reasons why we were able to leave. Um, his parents died young, part of the shield wall. My father died of sickness, and my mother, well, She carried on for as long as she could, but over the years, it became more and more apparent that she wasn't the same without him. Um, until eventually, there was a small group of Valkyrie that tried going back to the homeland, and she offered to be a part of that crew. I was old enough and enrolled in the shield wall myself, so she knew I would be either okay or die, which is a bit gruesome to think about, but she knew I was old enough to be my own person, and so she went back, and I haven't heard from her since. Haven't heard from any of the people who went on that voyage since, to be fair.
I'm sorry about that.
It was an honor for her to be part of that crew. I just hope that she was able to make it back and find another meaning with the rest of her life.
What about you and Floki though? Did you ever have another child?
No, unfortunately, shortly after we left you behind, and we were part of the extermination force, I ended up taking a pretty large spear like object through my abdomen. And though I healed from it, she kind of like lifts up a portion of her chainmail armor to show what looks to be like a gnarly large scar that goes from like the bottom of her right rib cage and disappears down into her pants, like in a diagonal across her stomach. Definitely won't be wearing any swimwear anytime soon. I mean, I will, because fuck everyone else, I don't give a shit. But not as a svelte figure as I once had.
That must have been an interesting story. Interesting fight.
Hydras are pissed when you chop off their heads.
One can only imagine, I guess.
Don't be near the
I guess you
head
don't have
when you chop it off, because it grows back.
Good to know. Good to know.
And if you're too close, it grows through you.
Oh,
Yeah, not fun. Not fun having a sort of reptilian dragon head and neck become inside you. Painful. Don't suggest it. Not on a bucket list. But that pretty much stopped all possibility of further children. That and me and Floki tried to always keep our minds busy with work. Always inundated with some sort of portion of the military to make sure we didn't have too much time to become despondent over things we left behind. People we left behind. You.
I understand.
So it was easier to stay busy than it was to repent and relent. So that's what we did, and come to find out, Floki orchestrated a bunch of shit without telling me, and you grew up and joined his squad, platoon, entourage. He
I
had
mean, if it
many
makes
different
you
names
feel
for
better,
it.
he didn't tell me either.
Yeah. He's like that. It's probably the last trick he's played on me. Well, the first trick he's played on me in a long time. But I can't be mad at him for this one.
Kinda wish he told me, though. Then I
You
would
know
have been
what? That
told.
fucker, it would be nice. But
Yeah,
just
it
know it's
was, it
never
was a
of
little
ill
weird in the
intention.
weird because he knew. Obviously, I didn't, and nobody else did. But like, once I found out and looking back on it, kind of made sense the way he acted. But nobody else put those two and two together with that one, so they all thought something else.
As most of the people in the military do. They think with different heads.
Certainly do.
But unfortunately, because of those types of situations, family members are not allowed in the same groups of the military because if push comes to shove and some sort of attack or something happens, naturally one would be out to protect one person above all else.
Sounds familiar.
Yes. It's almost as if there's a reason for it. Dumbass. Not you, Floki.
I didn't really have a choice in the matter. He just kind of shoved me away, and I don't know what happened.
Yep. That's his go-to.
He's done that to you?
Partial dimension door, yes. One of the few tricks he picked up from a mentor of his.
How is it different? I've been through the normal one.
The person creating the dimension door for this doesn't have to go through. He can send something his size or smaller, or a person his size or smaller through it. Made some for
Is it the same distance as well?
twice the distance. It's half the things going through, so it's got twice the distance. Fantastic little thing to use to shove someone 500 feet off a cliff. It doesn't go up or down, but it definitely goes lengthwise.
I don't know if I can tell anybody that one. Or not anybody. Tell Kaporin that one.
Oh. It's a specific thing to learn. Unfortunately, only his mentor knew it.
Hang on.
Any other questions?
Hang on, sorry, my battery died on my headphone.
It's all right. We jump to Nori as she's middle drinking water.
Absolutely, how dare you?
Blame Bryn's headphones.
Absolutely, how dare Bryn's headphones. Okay.
The Valak, with the silence kind of going for a while, realizing that the silence has probably gone a little bit too long, kind of just... well, anyway, not sure if there's an end to this. Are you just stuck in here for perpetuity?
Technically, I do have the spell to get rid of it, but we're inside it.
Yes. I'm trying to think, because it would definitely be my wife that was the maybe not the mastermind, but definitely the hand of this situation. There's going to be a specific thing that is going to dispel this situation, and I'm not sure what it is. I have a few ideas because my wife is a bit of a bitch. It's either going to be one or both of us crying because that's the type of woman she is. Us hugging. Us calling each other father and daughter. Or a plethora of other very forcibly uncomfortable situations.
That would track. That would. Yep.
Yep.
I say we put this to a group vote.
Well, my thing is just do them all at once. It's not like they're exclusive.
You're killing me.
No.
You would know which one it is.
Just have the most awkward hug of all time.
It's still a hug.
Are you doing it?
I guess so. I mean, he said it was one of the ways to get rid of it, so.
He sees you kind of like slightly move your chair, and he like, oh shit, okay, I guess we're doing this. He kind of like pushes his chair out and fixes. He takes off his coat with the daggers and everything and puts it on the back of the chair, just in case. Trying to show you, like, look, I'm unarmed.
Yeah, Nori just kind of looks at him like, yeah, you're definitely unarmed.
Well, no, I've got arms. Sorry, the whole humor thing. Never mind.
That
Does Valak not have a sense of humor?
It's a very dry sense of humor. Very pun sense of humor.
That's why he's Nori's father.
He's been working on dad jokes for years before even knowing he was a dad. So he kind of stands up and gets to like his halfway through the table, kind of just waiting for you to finish getting up, and he's kind of like fixing his shirt a little bit and kind of just slaps the side of his leg and sort of opens his hands out, not like a open, but kind of like just to the side slightly, like come here, kid.
Yeah, I give him a hug.
And it's very awkward as you kind of like walk up to him first, because he still has his hands to the side. You like kind of like walk up into that distance and then sort of just extend your arms underneath his arms, and he kind of just slowly extends them over your shoulders, and it's more of like this pat fest between the two of you. And then nothing's happening.
So Nori takes like a step and a half back.
Before you do, his arms don't move, and he kind of actually like picks you up and gives you an actual hug. And
Yeah, once he does that, and like Nori kind of softens a little bit and gives him a tighter hug.
And he's got an interesting smell. It's almost alchemical to a degree. Like, you could smell probably like gunpowder and something else, something acidic. But then he also smells like dirt. Like, portions of it smell like you're hugging a Vita again. It's like very natural, like you're giving a hug to the forest He's got that sort of sense to him. And so it's comforting in like a subconscious degree as well. And he kind of just gives you a big hug and then just kisses the top of your head. And then a bit as the hug goes through, and just at the very tail end of the hug, he lets go and goes, "No one will ever hear about this." As he puts you back.
Is he putting her under freaking lock and key with that too?
Who knows?
Nori looks at him and just
He's got a smile on his face.
and Nori's smiling too. It's a little unsure, but yeah.
When you crack your smile, the lighting all around the ruins of the room light up once again and go away. Well, I guess I should have just made jokes the entire time. Fucking wife. He kind of looks at you and goes, completely okay with continuing our conversation, especially at any time, but I feel like there is someone out there currently that I need to possibly murder. Just a little bit of murder, not a whole lot of murder, just...
He just like pats him on the arm. It's like, I know a few people can bring people back from the dead. It'll be fine.
If not, I'll come to you. And...
Wait, I don't think you want me to do it. It would be reincarnate. She'd come back as someone else.
he just disappears in your hand, in front of you, just dust in the wind.
Of course.
Bryn and Jeanette, you guys hear a poof against the door. And then a slight knock, knock, knock. She kind of perks up. So, I think a certain individual is out of their meeting now.
I'm dead, aren't I? He's going to kill me.
You know,
Right.
I'm not going to...
You're not going to answer that because
I'm not going
might
to
not
lie.
happen.
Things don't look
appreciate
great.
that.
Let me open the door.
Okay.
And so she stands up, chugs the rest of the bottle of wine, fixes her chainmail, gets her shield on, puts her sword in her other hand, kind of cracks her neck, starts doing the little shoulder workout as she's walking towards the door. And with the tip of the sword, she lifts the handle and opens the door. She gets it a couple inches open before both doors just fly open. And a very serene-looking Valak is standing there with his hands behind his back. He sees you and your mother. Looks around the room as the last bits of the spell rune work are starting to unglow. He looks at Jeanette, who's like full armored up, like ready to go. And then looks at Bryn.
Who is also in date night clothes.
Yes. He looks at you, Bryn, and just goes, "And how much of this were you behind?"
Not this part.
She's like, only about a quarter. Valak nods. He's got his jacket on, by the way. His hand kind of goes into his coat for just a moment. And he looks at Jeanette and looks at you. And kind of looks at you, Bryn, and just gives you a slight smirk and a nod as a, "I'll see you later." and then just disappears as he walks backwards. You guys hear what is probably the loudest metal on metal sound you guys have ever heard. Just shortly after he disappears from your view, Bryn. Jeanette kind of goes, I think he found Yelena.
Yeah, I think I want to stay far away from that.
Well, go get your girlfriend. Might as well have that date night.
I feel like she's gonna yell at me too, though.
She won't do it if I'm around. So at least start eating dinner and then I'll leave. Nori down the hall from the open doors, after the loud cacophony of metal hitting metal, you hear, Avenoria!
Nori just freezes because that is a name she has not heard in a long time.
Please, come join us.
Nori
And we'll go
slowly
get her.
peeks her head out.
You see two tall blonde women, one wearing a shield and sword, just at the end of the hallway, which is only like 35 feet lengthwise, and then at the other end the double doors are open, and you see the one with the shield and sword is kind of just waving at you and telling you to come here.
Nori has a very carefully neutral face. And she's going to go walk up to them.
As you get close, she's going to meet you out there and sheathe the sword behind her and put an arm around your shoulders. Well, it's wonderful to finally have a little one-on-two time here. I hope you're hungry.
I'd like to talk to Britt alone for a second.
She just lets you go as you're walking forward. She just lets you go and turns around and closes the doors behind her. She's just like, nope, sorry, daughter, your problem. Good talk through the door.
Nori walks up to Britt and just looks up at her.
Hi.
And gets up on her tiptoes and kisses her. And then gives her a hug and says, thank you.
I almost want to insight check that because that's not the reaction she thought was going to happen.
She get poison on her lips.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly.
And then Nori just like pokes your chest and goes, but don't you dare trick me like that again.
Well, that wasn't the reaction I expected. Well, the first part, that part I kind of figured was coming. But you're welcome.
It was one of the most awkward conversations I have ever had in my entire life. But it was good. And I don't think I would have had it had you not pushed. Thank you.
Oh, good. Polly, help.
But I'm not going to forgive this. This is... Don't trick me like that again. That wasn't okay.
But you just said if we didn't do it, it never would have happened. So maybe something like this is going to happen.
Yes, but I feel very betrayed.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. If it makes you feel any better, it kind of happened to me as well. So I got booted in here with my mother, but it wasn't as awkward, probably. Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm guessing so as well. I mean, every time it felt like it was going somewhere, he'd like backtrack a bit. But I think it's a good thing.
As you guys are in there, you hear a knock, knock, knock on the door, and you hear Jeanette's voice. We've got dinner out here.
Nori will open the door.
You open the door, and Jeanette, she's got what looks to be 2 large plates in her hands. Both are large cuts of steak with some sides. And next to her is a tall, red-headed woman who's holding 2 vegetarian plates as Avita Blightbringer gives you a big ol' smile.
Oh, Nori brightens up and is gonna wait for her to put down those plates so she doesn't accidentally drop them, but she's gonna give her a big ol' hug.
And so they go to the table, put the plates down, and start to... Well, Jeanette, I felt it's only right that if one mother's here, the other one should be here too. And she turns to you, Nori, and goes, you could thank Valik for that one. So, with that, we flip to the boys, who have moved through the town with their conga line. At some point, having a max of 7 individuals behind. Amric, your butt has been pinched 4 times. And you all have gathered roughly about 17 silver pieces worth of people throwing at you as you guys have moved through the town. But eventually... Oops. Burp. Keep forgetting I need to have spacebar on Zoom to do this. Eventually, you guys do make it to the Silly Minotaur. And though there are people out in front, by the time you get here, there's only 2 people who've hung on for the majority of the ride. They do let go as you guys have gotten here, but the front bouncers don't even stop you. They see you guys are ready for party, and they just move out of the way as you continue your train through, opening into a decently large, looks like warehouse converted into some sort of party atmosphere. And this club specifically has probably the most eclectic of races under one roof that you've seen. But you guys can't help but notice, though you see Minotaur, you see half-elf, dwarf, gnome, halfling, you see a whole cadre of different races. There's 2 individuals that stand out from everybody. One is a very recognizable high elf, as Arix, who is currently doing something very intricate with dancing lights around himself, where he doesn't have 3 large orbs, but he has about 15 very small orbs that are changing colors, changing in intensity, and spinning all around the dance floor of people underneath them. But you also see a very tall, blonde individual with what could only be described as see-through golden wings behind him and a small halo cocked off to the back right side. He sits about just under 8 foot, making Arix look small. But as he's dancing, the halo and the wings sort of catch in the same beat that Arix has his little lights pulsating. And so he's kind of adding to it, and every now and then the wings kind of like outstretch and like light up, and do different movements from his hands, so it's almost like 4 different arms are doing different things. And you guys get to witness an almost 8-foot man twerk as he's throwing it back like the Lord told him to. But being one of the few other iridescent people in this, you guys garner some attention as you guys come through. Arix noticing you. He waves you guys over to join the club, as there's about probably a good 30 people around them, but they take up enough space and are doing enough movements in their dance to really kind of open the floor around them. This, as you guys start to weave your way through everybody, sort of leaving smears across people of your iridescent paint. It's just a little too tight in here to not do it, but if you've ever cracked glow sticks and sprayed it on yourself, it happens. You're going to end up smearing other people. By the end of it, you have like 13 different colors, and you're like, I only used green. What the fuck? By the time you guys get to the dance floor, it's in the middle of a song, and the song isn't coming from a band or someone playing. It's just happening. And the closest that you guys have come to it is like hearing music on the TV in Seattle. The music is just sort of everywhere and all happening at once. And when you guys get to Arix and this other individual, the music quiets just a little bit, enough for Arix to be like, "Hey guys, glad you could make it." His voice getting like really harsh from probably screaming for the last however long they've been here. Arix is kind of just dancing, and Ilinade looks down at you, Polly, and just goes, "Hey!
What up, man?"
He just kind of like goes to give you a high five. And as he does so, you grow 2 feet. It doesn't keep working, but enjoy it.
As in, like, it happened and it's
Yeah.
stuck for a little while?
For a little while, yeah.
Alright, sure, yeah.
Charles like, "Aw," because he's now the shortest again.
He extends his hand to high five you.
Because he's got his wings glowing, I'll high five him with my glowing wing.
All right, you grow to match Polly. And then he kind of like, as he high fives your glowing wing, he like holds on to it for a little bit, kind of just like jamming with it. And then he does the whole like worm arm to your arm.
I will mimic it and send it back.
And he goes, "I'm Ilinade. Nice to meet you guys."
Nice to meet you too. I didn't know you guys would be here. Or I didn't know you would be here, Arix.
Arix kind of just looks at you like, "Bruh, where else would I be?"
Totally. Kaporn's like, totally. Where else would you be?
He goes, "I heard you're playing tonight."
Oh yeah, this guy running on the street told me I should come, so I was like, sure.
Ilinade kind of looks at you and goes, and he points to the loot that's on your back. "So are you ready?"
Sure. I
The music dies
Right now?
immediately. "All right, buddy. Let's see what you got." And with that, 2 spotlights out of nowhere, and they focus in on you, and you start levitating.
Oh damn.
And he kind of,
Kaporan,
as you levitate about 2 feet off the ground, he kind of just slightly pushes you towards the stage. And that's where we'll pick up next time.
oh crap. Okay.
Would he have had time to cast glibness earlier?
He's got about 10 seconds before he gets to the stage.
Kaporan has it in his pocket, so like he's good. As he's going over there.
Alrighty, guys. So,
Oh, that's fantastic.
any questions?
Can I learn the dimension door? Can I learn the magic ball, the lights, dancing lights? Also,
You don't think you'll have to worry about the light show side of things?
oh yeah, I want. I want
Arx
to
and
learn
Elinate
it.
are gonna take care of you. You're not a wizard. It's much harder to teach you things.
Damn.
Any other questions, guys?
No, but that was fun.
All right. Well, if you... go ahead. All right.
I love how we're just completing everything, all of our family issues and all of our family connections.
You know what? Just getting it down and out of the way. One fell swoop.
It was so awkward and it was fantastic.
We have like a year worth of actually talking to each other to make up for it, so
You're not wrong.
Still really haven't gotten anything out of Racha though.
Nope. He's just a trauma bird that keeps shoving it further and further down. Alrighty, guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. If I don't talk to you all before then, have a great week, and we shall meet back up on Thursday.
Night, everybody.
Bring your,
Good night,
bring your
everyone.
rave clothes in.
Get ready for the rave.
Everyone wears rave clothes for the session. No, I'm wearing PJ.
Bye, guys.
Thank you all for those that stayed with us. Have a great week. Get your rave on. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.